You're listening to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
Hey, we go. Welcome back. Show number 107 of the Gettin Salty Experience podcast. The only one in the whole wide world. Brings the Firehouse kitchen table to you. And we got a couple of guys from 107 truck tonight. It's going to be a fun kitchen table. We got fire stories. We got Ronzoni.
It's a whole gaggle back there.
Oh, it's a gaggle, guys.
It's a gaggle.
We got a chief. We got a lieutenant. We got Ronzoni.
That's about right.
We love Ronzoni. We're going to bust his balls all night.
Ronzoni happened to have the longest resume out of all these guys.
Who do you mean, the Bop? The Johnny Bop?
Oh, Roofy's going there. You going there with that? Early?
Maybe. We'll see.
Right out the chute that early? You going with it?
That's
too early. Is it too early?
It's too early.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
No one's even had their cocktails yet, and we haven't even said the
You
pledge.
said cock.
Cock. Cock.
Koopy's going with the high nooner.
You know what? My son gave me the high noon. Oh, look, this one's empty already. How'd that happen? We're going with the high noon tonight with the grapefruit high noon. We're going with.
What is
recommended.
that like a White Claw, basically?
It goes down. No, this is actually vodka.
It's got the Portnoy on. Maybe he'll
Who?
sponsor. Who? What do you want, Owl?
Yeah, we got to get him on, bro.
The guy from Barstool.
Weren't you reaching out to him? He's too big for us.
That's right.
We're not in the league yet. We'll be there soon.
Yeah, maybe.
He's a gazillionaire. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anywho, yep.
Yeah.
So that we're gonna have to see how we're gonna juggle this. We got three guys coming out shit hot with a lot of funny stories, and we're all gonna push to that one point when they get to 107, and then we'll start telling 107 stories. But there's a long list here. One of our guests is got 3 or 4 generations. His father was a charter member of Rescue 3, Lieutenant Bressingham. We got some good shit. But before we get to that, Pete, what do you got?
Well, just a couple of things tonight to start. As always, ladies and gents, GettinSaltyApparel.com is how we pay the bills around here. You want a hat like this? You want a t-shirt like the one Kevin's wearing? We got some new stuff actually out, right, Kev?
Where do I work? Follow the smoke.
Whoa.
And then we got, for you guys that know, we said it before, we are going to Ohio to the Firehouse Expo. There's the shirt that we are doing the shirt for the actual expo. Make the look at the one on the chest pocket, Pete, on the left. It's really cool artwork. Nice. It says Firehouse Expo in the corner. So we are sponsoring the t-shirt with Firehouse Expo. We will be there September 27th through the 30th. Come say me, Roofy, and maybe the bear. We might even bring the bear with us. Cliffy Bear. He might be coming. 27th.
Dude, that's an awesome tee again. Really cool, actually. So there it is.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there it is. So
we are right when you walk in. We got a primo booth. I left my phone upstairs, so I can't give you the number, but I'll get back. I think it's like 107. Did I say 107? No, it can't be 107. That would be kismet. 107? I don't know. Well, they're always second and third, too, right? To 103.
Follow the smoke, boys.
Can you read that?
What does that say? If you could read this.
Oh, let me zoom in. Let me zoom in.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So are you saying that the boys at Lincoln and Linden,
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
They read that shirt a lot, is what you're saying?
Holy sheetrock.
Wow.
Well, I want to get these guys in because there's going to be a war here. But hold on, before we get Warren, GettinSaltyApparel.com, guys, for all the t-shirts and accessories and all the coolest stuff.
Smiling again.
These guys are not
2 weeks in a row that he's smiling. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but these guys, I can see them. They're not smiling. The guests are not smiling. All right, guys. And if you're watching this show tonight, guys, support us by hitting us up in the super chat. If you got a question you need answered, if you just want to throw us a few shekels to support the show, it really helps out a lot. Believe me, you guys are our number one sponsors, our number one syndicators. Also, if you're watching after the show is over, not live, hit us up in the super thanks. Either way, it all goes to Roofy's retirement fund. You know, the guy's got barely any money in his pocket, and we're just trying to rub a few shekels together to keep the fire going during this cold winter.
Yeah.
Hanging on.
You know, I have new respect for Ronnie, too, for Ronzoni with the picture of his old lady he sent in the other day, bro. Smoking. Amazing.
I mean, not trying to be any, disrespectful or anything like that, but she's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got a good personality.
Well, we saw you.
I don't know about that. I've read his chat quotes.
You know what? Let's get him
You
in.
keep lobbing them up. I got to keep knocking them out.
Wow. Let's get him in here, bro. Let's go. Senior man in. Let's start out with Chief Joe Viglietta. What?
How you doing, guys?
Chief.
Hey, Chief.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Welcome to the show. You sure you want to do this now? You're okay?
Oh yeah.
You're not on the job anymore, are you?
No.
He's up in Maine. He's up in God's country in Maine.
I'm in Maine. Yes, I'm up in the sticks right now.
Some lobster.
Maine's one of the most beautiful places in the world.
I'm up at camp. They say up at camp up here. Everything's up at camp.
Up at camp?
Yeah.
Up at camp. What does that mean? Up at camp.
Up at camp. Everybody.
Up at camp.
I'm 425 miles north of where I normally live. These people go upstate from here, believe it or not. And they say they go up to camp.
Up to camp.
Yeah.
Wow.
Up to camp.
I think it's awesome. Acadia Mountain. I hiked it. It's awesome. I love that place.
Yeah.
All right, Ruffy, let's go. 7th grade. What's the capital of Maine? Come on.
Augusta.
Woo!
Wow.
Nice. Capitals, baby.
Wow.
Mr. Klein, 7th grade.
Wow.
7th grade. My kids are in amazement that I still remember all 50 states.
I just did that to my daughter. I
Yeah?
don't even know how long ago. Maybe like a month ago.
Amazing.
All
right, let's get our
there you go.
Well, let's get our second guest in here. Louis and I actually work with this gentleman. Military. What are you laughing at, bro? Take it easy.
Pete was talking and you cut him off and he's like, all right, there you go.
I was. I didn't know Pete was talking.
I said, maybe you know who else would want to tell you about all the states? Maybe our next guest.
Oh, maybe he would.
Oh, he's gonna break your balls. Oh, good.
Oh, Pete, good leading. All right, maybe we can bring in Lieutenant Bressingham. There he goes.
Hey, there he is.
Wow.
LT.
Only handsome guys in 107, right? Is that what it was? They let the handsome guys into 107. What the?
A nice thing to say.
It is. Right?
Nice of you to say.
Well, let's reserve judgment until we get Ronnie in here, and then he's going to take a beating tonight. Let's bring him. Everybody loves this guy. He's in the chat all the time. Bring him in here, my man Ron to the Zoni. There we go.
All right, Ronnie.
We love
What's
Ronnie.
up, man?
Oh
What's up?
my
What's
God.
up? Look at that.
Got
Gettin
the
Salty Apparel.
Wow, and you know what? He bought that. We didn't even send it to him for free. He bought
That's
it. Look at
right.
that.
Wow, we got to send him something.
Thank you.
Oh,
We're gonna
paying
send
customer thing.
He is.
That's
We'll send some swag to all these gentlemen here, bro. But before we get into this, Pete, we got to do two things.
Okay. Well, the first thing
the
is
first
more
thing we gotta
important
do
than the
is-
second.
Yeah, because we actually forgot the second thing, but that's all right.
Oh, oh, right.
Well, let's
Well,
get patriotic
you know what?
before we do the other
I'm
thing.
going to come up with something on the fly while we're
All
going
right,
here.
go ahead.
All right. Well,
I
ladies and
promise I
gentlemen,
won't cut you off
first and foremost,
again. Go ahead.
This time I mean it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You know what?
Excellent.
The
Well,
second thing we didn't do, and I didn't do either, I couldn't come up with something fast enough.
you just said you were going to come up with something on the fly.
I was going to, but I didn't. So I'm going to throw this out. I want to throw this out to the audience. What would you guys call a word of the day today for the 107 show? Let's give them a minute.
Wow.
1 minute
All
from
right.
now.
Go ahead, 1 minute. I was going to say Jewish Navy, but all right. Go ahead.
Jewish Navy. That's a potential. Jewish Navy. Let's give it to the audience because they definitely are watchers of the show. Here we go. Let's see what they got in here. They've got a lot of USA stuff going on. Maybe the chat hasn't caught up. Second due.
Oh, fucking no. Oh, no.
Funny
There
enough-
you go.
Oh,
where
Mitch,
that's
that's
coming
Mitch
from.
Augustine wrote that too.
I was going to write second due, but I thought it would be
Mitch?
too arrogant and
Mitchell
disrespectful.
Augustine
Mitch
in the
Augustine.
chat. I love Mitch.
Also known as
Presidents
Mitch,
before
the
Buck.
Firehouse
Happy with that.
bitch.
Mitch the Firehouse bitch.
Oh, yeah, that's what we called him because he
There's
was
a few
a
guys.
buff.
Fearless.
All right.
Rode with the yellow
Fearless.
helmet.
Oh, man. Fearless
That's
is
two guys that went to hazmat. Didn't the little guy
Plum balls.
quarter?
Plum balls.
Yeah, Cassidy.
Cassidy was at 2 1/4 for a cup of coffee, right?
He said to call them plum balls. I don't know what that means.
Couple
But,
who plum balls.
I don't know what
yeah,
that
a
means.
word of the day.
That might have been from
You
Richie.
got
Martin.
10 more seconds, guys, on the
Richie
word
Mono,
of the day.
absolutely.
Lincoln.
Oh, that was from
Nah,
Bobby from
you got-
283. That's Sono said that.
5,
Lincoln Logs.
4,
Oh, Lincoln
3,
Logs.
2. All right. I think the
That
word
could
of the day we figured.
Mitchell Augustine coming in hot with this
Word of the day is second due.
Oh,
That's cold. It's cold.
Mitch will pay for that.
Mitch,
Shooter
you will
120
pay.
said 103. Never heard of her.
all right. What do we go? What are you drinking there, Chief? What do you got?
I got a little Tito's, a little Diet Ginger Ale. Like I said
Oh,
before,
little
not
something
doing
to
the
whistle?
trick though.
No.
No, I'm not losing.
What about
anything.
you, Lou? What are you drinking?
I have a dirty martini with blue cheese olives.
Oh, dude, that might be the classiest drink anybody has ever had on this show.
Yeah,
Why, thank you. My wife made it.
and
And his wife made it.
Like Chief Dombrowski. She's going to just keep running through.
Oh,
here. Just
dude,
keep
that guy
cranking it.
got that guy got shit faced on the air, though, man. He was
The guy from
he was
Detroit. I
shot.
loved him. He was like 80
Yeah.
years old, and his wife just kept handing him martinis the whole night.
He was slurring his words by the end of the
Definitely couldn't
show.
feel his face, without a doubt.
No.
I can't.
Good
And
happen.
Ronzoni is a dry man, so he's sipping water, but he's making a lot of noise getting the ice. Oh, good for
Yes.
you. All right.
Straight vodka.
Good for you. Good for
Let's
you.
get. We're gonna go through the early days really quick till we get to that time in 107, so we can talk about Firehouse stories in 107. So we'll start with the Chief. Hired in 79, same year as Chief Steve. Assigned to 2 1/4, and then transferred to 107 in 81. So you had family on the job as well beforehand, or what made you want to be a fireman?
It's funny. I was going to school for pharmacy. Not that I wanted to be a pharmacist, but my father told me you make a lot of money, you know. But I didn't know much about. He was on the job. He got out as a chief also, but he told me just take that entrance exam as an iron in the fire, and it was the best iron in the fire I ever had. 'Cause I mean, it was such a, I don't have to tell you guys what a great job. It's the job of a lifetime, really. So that's how I ended up. I was in. As a matter of fact, I'd switched to engineering, and then the fire department called, and I looked and I said, "What am I going to do? Go to the fire department, or keep on going to school?" So that wasn't a difficult decision,
Where were you from? What neighborhood you grew up in? We always on the island.
Massapequa, Long Island, Massapequa.
Oh, Machapequa. Nice.
Massa Pizza.
Machapequa. And your dad was a chief, you said? Where was he a fireman?
He was a fireman in 10 truck, believe it or not, years ago, 1949,
Right.
And then he was a lieutenant captain in 110. And then he was a chief. I had mentioned to Ronnie, he was a chief in the 29 Battalion, which you guys are going to say, where the hell was the 29 Battalion?
Gone.
The 29 Battalion was on Lincoln Avenue with 107 and 225.
Come on, really?
Really?
When they built, you guys don't know that. When they built the firehouse, the city made a deal when they built Linden Plaza to build a firehouse. So they took 107 off Jersey Avenue and they took 225 out of what ended up being 332's quarters, and they put them there and the 29 Battalion. And that's how busy it was back then. The 29 Battalion was there, and the 39 Battalion was in 236's quarters.
Wow.
Was
it 175 on Jersey Avenue too?
So what happened was that's how 332 and 175 came about, was that the local residents had a fit that they lost their fire department. They felt, how do people feel? It's their personal fire department. So they formed 332 and 175, Right. So they were that interesting 107 was like half of the guys that were on Jersey Avenue, and also a bunch of guys from 103 too. There was a section of 103 at the time. And then when the layoffs came, they shut down the 29, the 39 moved to Lincoln Avenue. And, the layoffs were an awful time, but by that time they had disbanded the second sections, I believe.
Right.
That's so crazy how close those battalions. I mean,
yeah. Can you imagine that?
Firehouse apart. I mean, really.
Yeah. I mean, that gives you an idea how busy.
My God.
Right. They had two battalions right next to each other.
So how was it when you got there? You got there in 79, right? So you guys were still doing a lot of work, right?
Yeah, we were still doing all right. And it was interesting because we were kind of like fresh meat after the layoffs, Guys were a lot older than us because I think the layoffs, I thought the layoffs were in 74. I just saw
73, right?
I think it was, according to Hill Duff, I think he said 75. I thought he said, but I thought it was 74. But the thing was, there weren't many probies in the Firehouse, so guys, it was interesting because I was 21 to the day basically, and I'm talking, I got guys I'm working with that are 35, 40 years old, 50-year-old guys on the back step. It was a different job, you had so much respect for these guys. They had seen so much, gone through so much, you learn so much from them.
Right.
That's what I don't want to babble, but like I say, my boys just went through whatever it was, 19 weeks of probie school. We went through 6. All we did was learn evolutions. We learned on the job, really. You went to fires, then you critique, you learned from the senior men. It was a different,
right?
Yeah.
So did your dad get you over to 225, or that was lucky to draw?
Yeah, that's what it was. He wanted, because he liked that place,
Right.
So that's where I started off.
All right. And how long you walking there before you catch your first job?
I don't remember. I my first tour was a crazy Richie Mono. I don't know if you've ever heard the name. Unfortunately, he passed away about 20 years ago. In the fire department, we have such funny guys, right? I mean, the talent level and humor is unbelievable. But Richie Mono is still the funniest guy that I ever worked with. And he was my lieutenant. We go to a jumper in the pink houses, right? I'm just a kid from East Cupcake, don't know what's going on. And I'm standing there and they're yelling for the lady to jump, And I'm saying, Lou, why are they telling her to jump? Aren't we trying to save her? And he says, for the entertainment value. I was like, holy crap.
Shit.
Yeah. And then we went up and we got her off the roof. And that's the way, I guess I could tell you, Tony Fredricomo got her number. Right? I hope I'm right about that, because he's going to hear about this. Right?
And a typical fireman move.
There you go. Oh, shit. Well, she's a little crazy, so we like crazy.
Yeah, he likes to jump off high things.
Fireman move. Fucking love that one.
All right, let's go to Lieutenant Bressingham. He was a Marine first, right? See, I wrote this all backwards. You were a Marine in 75 to 77? Correct. Did you go anywhere, or did you stay in the States?
I was in Japan for 13 months. I was
nice.
In the Philippines, China. It was nice.
Oh, the Philippines, huh?
Wow.
My wife's Filipino.
Nice.
You weren't.
I can't tell stories.
Yeah. Let me look at him. Does he look like my? Nah, he doesn't look like. Let's see if my wife looked like you at all. You know what I mean? So you come back and you get on at 83? Right?
When I got out of service, my father he was a fireman also, and wanted me to take the test.
Right.
So I took the test, and then I got called pretty early, but I was working for the railroad at the time, and I was out in the Hamptons.
Holy, look at that guy.
My father, that's my
me?
father.
Oh, that's your father, right?
I figured.
Look at that head of hair.
Well, we're all, my grandfather, my father, my son, we're all service guys too. But I was out in the Hamptons state in the railroad, and when I got called for the fire department, I didn't take it right away. And I should have. But my father said to me, I'll get you in Jamaica or Harlem. And I said, I'm in East Hampton now. I'm having a great time. So I waited a couple of years, and then I'm very happy, but I came on in 83.
So what year was the original year that they were going to call you? Like,
I think 79.
Oh, so you would have been in the Chiefs class, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, I'm a little probably.
So now your grandfather was on the job too, right?
My grandfather was on, yes. They enacted Rescue 3.
Where was he fireman before he went to 3, though? Was he
37 engine? And
Wow.
that's when I met my grandmother in Harlem. A nice Irish woman.
Nice Irish woman in Harlem.
Yes. Way back in the 20s, yes.
Pete, I think we have a picture of the original charter of Rescue 3.
Oh, yes, we do. Stand by.
So how did that happen, Lou? I mean, now where's your dad? Let's see. Where is he?
He's up on the top corner.
Oh, I see him.
Henry Bressingham, yes.
Oh, on that side.
Wow.
There you go. Holy
1932, man. That is incredible.
Yeah.
So how did he tell you how that happened, or they were looking to open up?
He wasn't much of a talker, He actually got a nice scaling ladder rescue in 1936. We got a class 1. I think I sent you that picture also.
Do we have that one, Pete? Or that
tell
one
me
on
what
me?
it is again. A scale.
The medal.
Scaling
The medal.
ladder?
The medals.
Oh, the medal. Yeah, we got that. Stand by. Hold on. There it is.
Yeah,
Boom.
we'll talk about it.
1936.
Jeez.
But there's a lot of history. What a great job we have.
So they just they decided to start a new company, and he didn't tell you why he wanted to go to 3 or how it happened or how he got to 3.
No, he was much older. No, I didn't really get to talk to him too much about it.
Right,
He lived from the Bronx at the time.
And then your dad got on the job. Where did he work?
Got a job in 1957. Yes.
And where did he work?
5 engine. For many years, and then he went to 54 engine.
So he was an engineman the whole time. Stayed a fireman or became a boss?
Stayed a fireman the whole time. So did my grandfather. And then he retired from a 150 truck in 1975.
Wow.
Oh, Hollis, what is that? The Hollis Hogs? Roughly? Is
You
that
got some big shoes there, kid. You know
I'm
what I mean?
trying.
Holy shit, man.
Oh boy.
How many years did your dad do?
My dad did about 20, a little over 20.
And then you get on and you went to 2 1/4.
I went to
Now,
2 yes.
Did he send you there, or that was a luck of the draw? Or?
Yes, he did. Little Influence was very nice, and 2 1/4 was a great place to start. And the guys were great in the engine and the truck. It was so good. Great company.
Now, do you remember meeting the chief when you walked in there, or how long before?
The chief,
you were in the truck by then, right, Chief?
No, I was in the engine for 3 years, and then I went.
No, but the chief was probably in the truck by then, right?
I was,
79?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, Joe and I, yes. Well, we're both from Massapequa, so actually, Joe worked with my brother in Massapequa.
Yeah. You know, I was just thinking, Ray, when you were saying that Richie Mono, like I told you before, Lieutenant, one of the funniest guys, he used to say, when I put my paper in for the truck, he goes, "You're not leaving the house, are you?" He used to say, "What? Leave show business?
Show business.
You don't want to leave the house." It was a great bunch of guys, you know.
Yeah, what a great bunch of guys. Every day was a new story. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, so different. I mean, Apparel was a great job at the fire department. What a great way of life. I really wish I had gone earlier.
That's a great way to say it. What a great it is. It's not a job. It's a way of life. It really is.
It really was so nice. I mean, family with everything. And my best friends in the world. It's nice.
Pete, you got a picture of 107, the tower, with all those guys standing on it, right? So you guys could see it was a tower.
I've been trying to get Seville on. How was Seville back then? Was he out of his
That was
mind?
okay. Look quiet. He was single and he was quiet.
Here we go. Kaboom.
There you go.
Oh, there he is, right there.
Yeah.
Who's in there? So somebody.
Seville is right next to the 107 on the right of 107.
Right.
Is that Ronzoni 2 over?
No.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, look
Next
at that.
to Paulie Fitz.
Fitz, yes.
Look at that guy. Holy, look like a Guido, there, bro.
That's how he got the wife, dude. That's how he got.
That's how he
That's
how he got
it.
Look at the dude with the serious mullet. I've never seen an afro
That
mullet
guy's
like
got
that.
some mullet right over there,
Dude,
bro.
mullets
Two guys
were in.
over.
Me and Coops had mullets.
Oh yeah, I want to. Somebody will finally get a hold of one of those pictures. Maybe
And there's two guys down. There's an Irish mullet right there. It's like coming apart at the seams. Look at it. There it is. Oh my goodness.
Oh, there's the old chauffeur's pike axe over there, bro.
Oh, let's see it.
Yep.
Well, John Seville and I were in a study group together for lieutenant. And very good guy. I mean, he wound up being a captain at 175 for many years. Had a great career.
Yeah, he only just reached.
Yeah,
He
he just
retired not too long ago.
Yep. What kind of buildings do you have over there mostly? I know you have a lot of projects over there. I pass it all the time.
wait. Yeah, we have the pink houses. We have a lot of different projects. So,
Now, what else do you have over there?
films,
We had everything.
Yeah.
you know, all different kinds. Row frame. We had brownstones. We had all different kinds of. But then we went into Queens, and we had row frame. You know, all kinds of private dwellings, taxpayers.
What part of Queens did you go? What part of Queens did you go over? Over by like Liberty Avenue down.
142.
140.
Yeah.
Right, because when I listen up, I hear they come across a lot when you guys are on the box. You guys have a
They're
job.
right there, Kev. They're
yeah.
only a couple blocks from Queens.
Yeah. All right, let's get to my man over there.
As
Ronzoni.
Ronzoni says all the time, the busiest truck in Queens.
Yeah.
That's right.
We lost the chief. What happened to the chief? We lost him.
Uh-oh.
A bear is nibbling on his
You know, he did tell us that. Wait, what?
Oh,
Oh, there he is.
He told us that his internet was gonna crap out on him. But
He's up in Maine, so
He'll
he's
be
got
back.
he's got the squirrel and a treadmill over there powering his internet.
It could be worse. It could be worse.
All
There he
right.
is, Chief.
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
Hey.
Welcome back,
Yay.
I always say modern technology will fail you because my computer that's relatively new just crapped out on me.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's probably a battery or something.
So what are you on now? Your phone?
I'm on the phone. Is that all right?
That's great.
Yeah,
Just
it looks
turn
great.
it horizontal.
Working
if you could.
fine. Whoa.
Hey,
Oh,
that's
there you
that's
go.
that handsome devil right there.
Wow.
It's
back, baby.
You're looking at must be pointing at somebody else.
All right, let's get into my man over here, Ronzoni.
Where's the beef?
What?
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Where did that one come from?
I just came out of nowhere. I don't know. I felt inspired. Where's the beef?
I
Here
got
he
it.
is. Look at the beef. He's
Let's
up
get
here.
Let's get into Ronzoni. Let me switch my papers. Hold on a minute.
Hey-o.
Up a little bit. Ronzoni over here.
Oh shit!
All right, so Ronzoni gets on right after July 4th, bro. You missed July 4th. You get another guy assigned. Does anybody go right to the truck there? Nobody goes right to the truck.
Yeah, no, this guy's.
Who,
Okay.
Matt,
Savola went right to the truck.
like Matt Neary too.
Mattress.
Mattress Neary. That's my boy.
Oh yeah,
Matty's my boy, man. I was in Proby school with Matty.
he's a good man, man.
That guy is
Sure.
that guy is crazy as the day is long, man. But I love him. All right, so you go to 225 again, right?
Yep.
In 88. And so both of these
Yeah.
guys still there when you get there?
Yes, I worked with both of them. A little longer, Ray. I worked 6 years with Ray. I worked 2 years with Joe. And
Right.
then Joe took his show on the road first, and then Ray a couple of years after him.
So how did Stavola go right to the truck, bro?
Well, in 90, we got 6 guys from one Proby class. 3 guys went to the engine and 3 guys went to the truck. And Joe Stavola, Timmy Sonnenberg, and Richie Lorenzen went directly to 107. And you had Shirali, Mike, was Bresciano in that group? And
Shirali. Would he go by Chief Shirali?
he's a deputy. Joe's
He
a deputy
is.
now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I thought so.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had 6 Probies, 3 to the engine, 3 to the truck.
And
Back
Stavola
then,
was one of them.
in
See,
90.
I know from he lives in here in Long Beach. I see him in the gym all the time. He wouldn't come on today, right? I told him what happened.
You know what? You asked
Hold on
him.
a minute.
He's
Hold
got a
on,
couple
wait a
things
minute.
going on.
Pete, I think I got something stuck in my pussy. I'm sorry. I got stuck. I hope he's watching tonight. Is he watching at least?
I was
I
hard
hope
at work
so.
today.
He
I
was
was
hurt
hurt
at work.
about that.
His feelings were hurt.
Very angry with him.
You know what? You had a lot of workout
Maybe-
guys there
maybe
too.
you'll-
I was talking
Oh,
about
big
that.
time.
You had
Eddie O'Neill, Frank Campisi,
Frank Campisi.
Sal Princiata.
Sal Princiata was the guy. I was watching an ESPN thing one time, and they had him on in 107. Were you in that?
They taped. Yeah, I was there that day. We taped
Were
that
you?
in the Firehouse. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bobby
I-
Collis, the guy that Ray talked about earlier, he came down in coveralls with pillows stuffed in his front,
Yeah.
eating a pork chop,
Yeah.
standing next to Sal. It
Sal was a
funny
big
stuff.
boy, man. Sal was a big boy.
Light heavyweight. Yeah,
Yeah.
he made it to the big show.
He just passed away, didn't he?
God rest his soul. Nuts, but
Yeah,
he's
man.
been gone for a little while now.
Has
yeah.
it been? Yeah.
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
been
he
a
had
while.
some demons, bro. He went to Manhattan after that or something, right? Or didn't he?
He was on PMLA, and they sent him to
9 truck.
nine
Non-truck,
truck.
right?
And then he found his way. He stayed in Manhattan. He loved it.
Yeah.
He was quite the character.
He
Strong,
definitely was.
strong guy.
Yeah.
His
Yeah,
nephew
I
was
ran into him
in 103.
He was a
His uncle is Ray Downey. That
Oh,
is
what?
juice.
Oh, I did know that. Right. I
Yeah,
did know that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that was the kid. I think the kid, his nephew's in 252 now. He
Yeah,
plays on the
is
hockey
that
team.
Chuck? Chuck? No, that guy wasn't that guy from Sheffield Avenue? The guy that played on
Yeah,
hockey?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sheffield.
Never heard of him.
Where is that? Never heard of him.
Never
Right?
heard of him.
We're actually also known as Bogeyland.
Bogeyland. Why is that Bogeyland, bro?
All right, God rest his soul, Bob Collis. It's Thanksgiving morning, and there's a detail to Sheffield Avenue. So he's the senior man. I says, "Hey, Bobby, I'll take your detail." He's like, "Nah, it's my detail. I'll take it." So he comes in the kitchen for a cup of coffee before he goes over there, and they're like, "Hey, Carlos, where's the detail? He goes, I'm bandaged to Bogey Land. We had the March of the Wooden Soldiers on TV, and he's going, it's Thanksgiving Day. So they called us the Lincoln Logs, and we called them Bogey Land. And we got along famously.
Actually, the couple of guys were texting when I posted today that we were going to have the 107 guys on. I started getting texts, right? So one of the guys, maybe I'll sneeze it out in a second, but he was detailed to work in the engine to drive, actually. And he said that Ron put he's a little maybe height deprived. He put a couple of crates there, milk crates for him to get in there. He's like, that son of a bitch. As soon as
that doesn't sound like me.
So who was let's get it out there. Who was second due to who? Who was second due? Who was second due? Who was second due?
Second due.
Sorry.
He's busy.
That's it. No, I'm looking through the chat.
I'm going to tell you right now, Mitch Augusta will pay for that dearly.
Mitch the bitch. I like Mitch. I like Mitch, bro. I don't know why he went to hazmat, but hey, I guess he didn't want to see fire anymore. I don't know what happened.
What's going on, Mitchell?
What, Mitchell? What's going on? All right, so you get to 225, bro. Before you get to the truck, you get any work in the engine? You get any knob job or what?
Yeah, well, just real fast. In 1973, I rode with 27 truck. My neighbor across the street was Tom McEnroe Sr. He was a seated chauffeur in 27. He was almost a charter member in the band. So I'm 15 years old in 73. I take a ride. I ride with them for the day tour on a Saturday. And they had the slowest day in 8 months. So I became a white cloud early on, long before I even got on a job. When I got to Lincoln Avenue, I walked in the kitchen. The pilot lights went out on the stove, man.
You shut down the Bronx?
I shut down the Bronx single-handedly, and I didn't catch a job for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, we didn't ask you. What made you want to go to the job, bro? You have any family on the job, Ron?
No. I'm the first and the last in the fire legacy. Although when my son got out of the Marines, he had a list number for the job, and
he's a Nassau County cop, right, or something.
He went over to Nassau. He went to Nassau County.
Not a bad gig.
I got a little family that's in the courts. My brother's a retired captain. My sister-in-law and nephew are courts. My daughter's in the courts. So we're civil service. But I'm the only fire guy, bro. It's my neighbor, Tommy McEnroe Sr., God rest his soul. He just passed away.
Well, old Guinea's on the job.
No, he's all Irish. But
what'd you say the name was? What?
Tommy McEnroe Sr.
McEnroe Sr. I thought he said McEnroe. I thought there was an I at the end there, bro. Senior.
Now that Kev is Italian, he's always looking out for his people.
I'm looking out for my people. If you didn't know this, did you know this, Chief, that I think I'm German my whole life, and I do a DNA test, and I wind up because my father was adopted. I'm 25% Sicilian.
That's why I said he's been wearing Gettin t-shirts his whole life.
Now we're again.
Yeah, he can't talk quietly without having this music play in the background.
I just said I worked with him 127. He used to say, Joe, not for nothing, but if I tie your hands behind your back, could you talk?
Forget about it, Tootie.
Forget about it.
All right, so another guy. Does anybody stay in the engine over there? Does everybody want to go over to the truck?
No, there were guys that stayed in the engine.
There's guys that stayed,
Yeah.
A good friend, Harold Jacobs, did all his time in 225 engine. He made it to the rank of captain. He was a captain of 230 engine. Yep. But he was a hardcore engine guy. Mike Bresciano, another guy that went, got promoted out of the house from the engine. There was a bunch of guys, not many. A lot of them went across the floor to get truck experience before they went out to the world, So,
now, Lou, your dad was engine all the way, right? So,
at the very end, he went to 150 truck.
Oh, right. So you didn't want to be an engine guy? You wanted to go to the truck? You wanted to go
for 3 years, and I went to the truck, and it was both great. I mean, a lot of guys, Frank Zampi, right, stayed in the engine his whole career.
Yeah.
John Farrell, some great firemen stayed in the engine.
Johnny Farrell, yeah.
So it really tough.
Paul Anzalone.
Paul Anzalone, yes.
You got to love those tough engine guys, right, bro?
Yeah. Zampi did, I think, 35 years. That's rough doing 35 years in the same.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
holy shit, man!
That's
35
what-
years.
That's what I was going to ask you, Chief. If you had, we'll ask each guy. If you had to pick a guy who, when you first got there, who kind of took you under the wing and was showing you stuff, who was your main guy that you trusted and learned the most from?
Would be Rudy Jankis in the truck. I mean, there was so many guys, but Rudy Jankis, Howie Hines, Steve Russack was a younger version of him. These guys were all great firemen. We were surrounded by great firemen, but Rudy kind of broke you in and showed you the ropes in the truck, and he was a guy you wanted to emulate. He was a leader,
Nice.
kind of, and you just learned a lot from him.
Did he stay that whole time too?
I got promoted in Indian, and so the whole time I was there, but then I think he retired in 91, 92, something like that. But he did 20-something years, right, guys? In
107, yes. He was
Rudy Jankis. He did 20 in a roll call. He got out with 20. He was that old school mindset, that mindset, do 20 and get out.
Yeah.
Who's Wally the Buff? He's saying it's log night. So you know who Wally is?
He's just taking a shot at us. I don't know.
Wally the Buff. Know who he is.
We used to have down below on Fountain Avenue, right? I'm trying to think, guys. What was down on Fountain Avenue? It was like they were dumping all sorts of stuff down there. Now it's kind of developed. Yeah. So we go down there like every Friday night on the weekends with the fires going, rubbish fire. Yeah. So they used to break our chops about that. They were dumping water. Of course, 103 would remind you that you're stuck with a towel out of dumping water on some garbage.
And how about you, Ray? Who do you think your guy was?
I mean, I was in the engine at first, and I think the guy Frank Zampi was the best in the engine. He was some role model. I mean, everything he did, he emulated him. Actually, one funny story with him was when I became the delegate of the truck. We used to go to delegate seminars, and I think we were in Atlantic City.
Atlantic City, man. Yeah.
Up in Atlantic City, we're hanging out, and Nick Mancuso was the president at the time. So Frank asked him, Nick, what room are you in? We're having a drink and everything. He finds out what room he's in. As soon as Nick leaves, he buys everybody a drink on Nick's room.
I like that guy. I like him.
After that, and became a delegate. That was my job.
Yeah, I was a delegate for a while. There was no fun down there in Atlantic City at all.
No, it was a little different things you go to, but it was
yeah.
I think I took over for you, Ruffy, as a delegate.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep. What about you, Ronnie? Who was
delegate? Did you have to?
Well, I gotta agree with Ray Brussingham. Frank Zampi was the senior guy when I got on the job. I was in his groups, and he was the glue that held 225 together. Lots of experience, time wise, and in life. He was quite a guy, well-rounded guy all the way around, and I definitely enjoyed working with him. I got a couple of funny stories with him. But Ray, you mentioned him doing that to Nick Mancuso for the Al Ronaldson funeral. We're upstate in a bar. We ended up on the runway in John Brown's car. I don't know how that happened, but that's another story for another day. But Zampi did the same thing with the bar owner. No, he's not buying back one drink. And about 2/3 of the way before we went outside, he went in the kitchen, got the guy, brought him outside. He got everybody to keep quiet. He said, "Hey, this is the bar owner, and he's grateful that we're here. And the next round is on him." The whole place was fucking nuts. And I think the guy.
That's his MO, bro. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bro. He got him good. He got him really good.
Is he still around?
Yes.
Yeah, Frank Zampi's still around.
Wow, we got to get that guy on the show, bro.
He's great.
Good guy. Yeah.
But in the truck, it was Rudy Jenkins, Joe. I agree. Rudy was a big guy. He looked like a refrigerator with a head on it.
Yeah.
And he would never go in the TV room. He would walk around doing projects all day and all night.
Yeah, really? Yeah.
That's the kind of guy he was. He was 110%. You didn't want to get
hands of steel
with him.
Yeah.
Who was the
hands
captain?
like this?
Is that
like
big
that.
hands?
Big strong man. Yeah.
Who was the captain in the truck then? When you guys were
initially, and then Duggan, right?
Well, for me, Crescio. So you saw Crescio.
Crescio for a little.
Lucky with all the, but we had great officers. But John Crescio was the captain, and then he got in. There was a problem with one of the chiefs. I probably shouldn't get into. But anyway,
Sure, but
Of course, you got to get into it.
You
We
can't
love
give
when
a
you get
build up
into it.
like that, Chief. You know what I mean?
Well,
What
there
a
was,
build up.
there was one chief, and the guy's name was Altenberg. He wasn't a terrible person, but he just put his foot in his mouth a lot of times in the firehouse, and he laid down rules, and he was not really that well liked, whatever. So the parties and things happened where there was trouble in the firehouse. Guys were picking on the chief's, his stuff and things like that, blowing up refrigerators, right.
Yes.
Allegedly.
That never happened.
So
Allegedly, is right.
Pressio had it out with him, and then he lifted him. So that was a damn shame. He got,
Yeah, that was a shame he got lifted. He was a great kid.
And Dixie Duggan came, I think, right after that. And Dixie was one of the original members on Lincoln Avenue, so he really.
Well, he came over from New Jersey Avenue, right?
Yeah, he came from Jersey Avenue.
Wow.
So back he goes,
Wow.
He was great, right?
What's
Dixie,
that?
Dixie was funny, just a great guy and loud. You can tell.
Yeah.
In the firehouse, as soon as he hit the freaking house watch in the morning, you're having a cup of coffee in the kitchen, Dixie was in the house.
I love those guys.
Now, what I love about this show the most is, the characters on this job, bro. There's so many different characters.
Unbelievable.
It really is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But there is
It
one of
truly
those
is.
guys. There is a Dixie
In every
in
firehouse.
Sheffield,
Yeah.
right? There is a guy that's in every, maybe not exact, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
He was a big guy. He was very loud. And I used to allegedly get in trouble for throwing beer bottles on his lawn. He lived on. So I would go out once in a while with Lieutenant O'Donnell. We would go fishing, and we would stop by his house. And his son, who Jimmy now, is a captain. Great guy, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy, where's Jimmy? 231.
231.
Yeah.
What a good guy. And his father, the best guys in the world.
Yeah.
That's freaking
A
awesome.
lot of fun to tease, but they got you back.
Yeah.
I came in one time on a motorcycle to work at 107 with Duggan working. And I think this is soon after the beer incident on his lawn. And it was planning on raining very hard. He wouldn't let me get early relief, made me go home in the pouring rain on a motorcycle.
Payback, baby.
I know.
I
deserve it.
No, that's good. I like that one. That's good.
Yeah, of course.
Now, I say this to Louis all the time. If I could pick a single engine, Ruffy, where would it be?
236.
236, bro. Great
No
spot,
doubt.
right? Did you guys race into because they're close to you, right?
We did a lot of good work with them. I'll tell you that much, right?
Yeah,
I like
we all got along well,
Yeah.
Even Sheffield, we all got along well, really. The only friction we ended up having was like 175 because when they moved closer to us and they weren't in the same battalion. So, when you don't really get to know guys, I think
because they're not detailed there as much or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally.
The guy, you realize everybody's on the same team, everybody gets along. And then that was like, I'm sure by now it's not like that. But at the time, I'm assuming they're still in the 4-4. They were in the 4-4 when I was there.
Yeah.
They are, yeah.
So that's the one thing that's awkward, right? When you don't really. Oh, the other thing was when I was a fireman, just before I got promoted in '89, they started the roster staffing where it was now job wide. But before that, it was battalion wide. Man, you never got detail out of your battalion.
Right.
Buddy,
I was just talking to the guys, I think yesterday. They said the overtime is crazy. That they're detailing guys all over. Even the guys in SOC now are getting detailed all over the city.
And they still haven't been able to recover.
No,
they get a lot of guys guys are just retiring, just like
that
papers in retirement.
with the whole stupid shot thing. A lot of guys got
That's what I'm saying. They're not going to. They lost a lot of senior guys. Guys that might have stayed till 25 or 30 are getting out with 22. You know what I mean? Or 20. They just had enough, and they're saying, I got my time, and I don't know what's going on. I don't like the way this is going.
Yeah, isn't it amazing too? Because like after 9/11, when those guys accumulated all those overtime,
you'll never see a overtime like this ever again.
Yeah, no, but the union went to them and said, let them lock it in and let these guys stay. Because we need these senior guys. Job didn't care. They let them all go, man. Let all those guys go.
It's funny you say that, Steve, because I felt that they were making a mistake. The guys were making a mistake because at the time I was after 9/11, I was a captain up in the Bronx in 42 truck, right? So then shortly after that, they made us SOC. We were a SOC support, but then they sent us for training, and they had the guys that retired from SOC back per diem teaching us, you know. And every one of those guys regretted retiring. They said exactly what you just said. They thought they'd never see that money again,
Right. Yeah.
And they realized they pulled the plug too soon because what we know about this job is you never want to leave. I never wanted to leave, you know.
Yeah.
So I know every single one of those guys regretted it. And you know, it's a funny thing. No matter how high the overtime, you stick around another 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that, you know how many times that's happened? Like you said, like from the trade center. I mean, I don't know how much longer you stayed till after 9/11, but you know, probably every 5 or 10 years, it was that there was like a sweet spot where, you know, whatever happened, and you know, now the vaccine thing, that was another thing, and you know, there's going to be something else 5 or 10 years from now. You know, guys would be like, you know, I'll never see the overtime like this.
Guys retire with the vaccine because, like I said, it's such a fantastic job. I hate to see that guys pulling the plug on a career early.
Yeah.
Shot situation, you know. Although I don't know if I'm misinformed, but I think my boys told me they're offering guys back. Did you see that? Where if they decide to take the shot, they could get their job back with the PD and the FD. I think
that is that way, but I'm not sure if there was a lawsuit.
Are you talking about the shot that doesn't work? That one?
Oh, that one.
Oh, that one. Right.
Wait,
I got you.
Wait a second. Is this the shot that the CDC says that the same people who are categorized as vaccinated are also
that
the
didn't
same
take
people
long.
as
Look at that.
unvaccinated?
It was like,
Pete woke up. What?
He's like this. He's got his finger going like this. He's like
Pete,
1, 2,
Pete,
3.
That one exactly.
What do I know about your firefighter friends? I know about vaccines, though.
Yes.
That I know about.
You know who we're going to ask? We are actually having Peter King, Congressman Peter King, on in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
We're going to ask him about it, man.
Good guy.
He's a great guy. Yeah. We want to bring it up to him. These guys should get their jobs back, bro.
Everyone should get their jobs
back.
back.
We actually asked Chief Nigro that if he felt that the guy should get that. I asked him that if he felt that after all the bullshit, if
he gave a couple of hums, but then
he said I hope they do.
Right.
That's
exactly the quote. This is quoting Chief Nigro.
I think they should get him back. He did say though that he feels that he hopes.
He did ask the tough questions. He answered the tough questions. I asked him a few questions.
He did.
Yeah, we hit him. Yeah. All right, so let's hear some Lincoln Avenue. You know, I don't want to hear second news stories.
He was like this.
He's such a son of a bitch. He does it whenever, like I'm typing something or I'm taking a sip.
Dude, that was like he was hitting the 10th floor button on the MBT right there.
Let's hear some. Who's got some Lincoln Avenue stories? Who's got some?
Ronnie.
I'll start off with one. I'm sorry.
No,
go ahead, Joe.
Senior man.
All right. So when you were talking about one of my first jobs, it was the Essex Street gang. They called themselves the Sex Boys. I don't know if you guys know about that. Lou, do you know
what is that?
No.
You didn't know that? That was Ray, you would have known something about the Sex Boys, right?
I can't remember.
Of course he knows about the Sex Boys.
Maybe it was just you.
Wait, did you say sex with little boys? What did you say?
No, hey,
Go home and get your fucking shine box.
Be around.
Every week.
I'm kidding. I don't want to get any emails. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Every week we got to get these little. You know,
we gotta get comments.
Put the fires out because the guy.
Now Louis gonna get like 10 emails.
Last week we said something about something Jewish or something, and now it's my
Christ,
God.
Pete, do me a favor. Could you cut that out of the video when we put it up?
No, we're not cutting anything out.
Karen.
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so the thing was, they were the Sex Boys. They went around all the street signs that said Essex. They blocked off. So it said, and it was a nasty gang, you know. And I'm sure it was drug related. This was shortly after I got on the job. Me and Kevin Daly, he came on a few months before me. I was still in the engine. Christmas Eve, they're present to the leader of the sex boys was that they lit up. He was on a 3-story brick, right, like 20 by 60. He was on the top floor. They put Molotov cocktails in the stairway. and they freaking just incinerated the whole building. And we were there all night. It was one of those jobs where it was like 15 degrees and we looked like snowmen by the time we could hardly move around. But they killed everybody in the building. It was terrible.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they're ruthless, I mean, that's how gangs are. But I get piss somebody off. It was drug wars going on, so they decided to eliminate this guy.
That's good for the business, though, right?
But that's a tough Christmas
Job
Eve.
security.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it was Christmas Eve.
It was Christmas Eve for the family. Kill the whole.
Well, Merry Christmas. Here's a Molotov cocktail for you.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
He's like, oh, jeez.
Even Ron.
Coops is like
Ron,
laughing.
Ron just found
Kill the whole
Christ.
family. I think maybe you had too many of those high noons over there, buddy.
So
Go ahead, Ronnie. You got what?
go ahead, Ray. Give us a story, Ray. Your first fire or whatever.
I first get on the job. I mean, I was lucky I did have a fire my first tour, but we go to a car accident the next day I'm working on Pitkin Avenue. So we're racing there with a 2 1/4, and as we're going there, just as we're pulling up to the scene, I see people running away from the scene. So I'm saying, what's going on? What's going on? They were robbing the people in the accident, taking things off them.
While they were in the car, lined up, they're robbing.
You're in the shit when they're fucking robbing people who are hurt.
I couldn't believe that was going on in that neighborhood. It was out of control.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the attitude.
Yeah.
Right?
Ronnie, how much did you get, Ronnie?
Yeah.
I wasn't on the job then.
No, that's not bad, Coops. All right, good comeback.
All right, good comeback.
Nice, Coops. Digging yourself out
Back on the track.
Well, I don't have a first run fire story like that, but my very first run out of the box was about 9:10 after the roll call. We made a left turn on Crescent. One guy's running toward the pink houses, and he's shooting, and 2 guys are running toward him. There's a gunfight going on at 10 minutes after 9. I'm riding in the rig, looking out the window. They're shooting back and forth. The place is it's crazy, man. East New York back then, at the height of the crack epidemic, it was lawlessness. They mugged our lieutenant. One of our lieutenants got out of his car at 7:30 in the morning, and they rolled him right there, and they choked him. They slit his pockets, took all his money.
Really?
It was right outside the firehouse. They mugged the priest 2 blocks over.
What?
Monsignor Ryan. They beat him up and
Beat him up.
Yeah.
I gotta say, you know what, bro? When I do my side job now, I gave up my spots in Brooklyn. Roofing's happy. When I had spots in Brooklyn, when I would go past 111, I'll be like, wow, it's not the same area anymore.
Nice,
or I go past 132. But when I go past 107 and 103, I'm like, this place is still a shithole, bro. It's still a shithole.
It's bad. I just drove by Livonia the other day.
Yeah,
they dressed it up. They put nice buildings there, but the clientele is pretty much still the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a job in that neighborhood at a new studio a couple weeks ago. Horrible. Driving home at midnight.
I don't know if I ever told a story. We had I don't know if even Ronnie. When did you get out, Ronnie?
04.
We might have had the job at that point. It was a job in one of the projects there, and I don't know. We were all out, and I think we ended up getting there first, and it was for a report of fire. I think it was on one of the projects, one of the 6th floor or 8th floor. I don't know which project it was over there. And we get into the hallway, and there's a guy totally burnt, like total. I don't even know if I've told this story. It just reminded me, totally burnt, and he's got his shorts are still on fire, like they're burning, like smoldering. And he looks like a hot dog, like he's all cracked, from being burnt. He has a gun in his hand, and he's going like this: "Get out of my way! I'll kill you! I'll fucking kill you!" But he's like all fucked up, right? So Mundinger, me and Mundinger, Kevin.
He's a nut.
Yeah, he's a nut. Next thing I know, the guy's like he's laying on the floor. The gun goes flying. The whole thing. I relay it to the 3-9. We get up to the top floor, and there's somebody laying there. Burnt up, totally burnt, right? The whole hallway is burnt everywhere. The whole hall, all the wires are hanging, right? Totally, but no fire. The person who's laying there, we check it, dead, but burnt. So now you guys get up there. 107 gets up there, and they're all the way down the end of the hallway, right? So we're trying to force some doors. We're knocking on doors, trying to get in. guys are checking out the person on the floor, and all of a sudden I hear like some scuttlebutt. You know, like what the, you know, I hear some stuff going on, and I look down the hallway. It's got to be 60 feet, 50 feet. I look all the way down the hallway, and there's a door on the hallway, you know, at the end of the hallway facing me. And I see the door is open, and I see you guys are down there, right? And all of a sudden, I see somebody run by in the apartment on fire. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here, right? So we run down the hallway. We get there. You guys, like, jump on top of him, you know, with a comforter or something to put him out. And he's like he's just all cracked out, you know. And when I get there, he's just like shaking like a leaf, you know. He's all like this. And they were like, what's going on, man? Who did this? Like, what the hell's going on here? He's like, Walter Barney did it, man. Walter Barney did it. So we're like, fuck's Walter Barney? He's like, Walter Barney did it.
What?
So the cops came, you know, there was cops everywhere. We could, you know, because we had, there was a gun, the whole fucking thing, right? So the next day, I mean, obviously the Chiefs came, the cops came to the Firehouse to interview us because we saw the guy with the gun. He turns out he died. That was his girlfriend.
Who was Walter Barney?
That's the guy with the gun.
Oh.
So that was the guy with the gun that me and Mundinger like.
How'd the other guy get on fire though? How'd the other guy get on fire?
They were at the top of the stair, and the guy, I don't know if he knocked her out. That was the son of the woman, and the kid ran down. You know, the guy lit them all up on fire. Like he sprayed them and lit them on fire. But we made fun because all we kept saying was the guy probably was like, I'll get this bitch, you know, I'll do this. You know, he was like this, pouring shit on everybody. And then he was like this. He was like, you know, like trying to get the lighter going. And next thing you know, he must have been like, woof, because
he lit himself on fire.
He lit himself on fire so bad that he ended up dying from the burns, actually.
Oh, good upstanding citizen, Walter Barney.
And it was Walter Barney. In the papers the next day, it was Walter Barney.
Good old Walter
But
Barney.
107 was so funny. Like, I see all the guys standing by the door, and next thing I know, I see this guy run by in the apartment on fire. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
On fire. Nice.
On fire. Only in that neighborhood, right? I mean,
East New York. Oh, for sure.
Give it a second.
Sure.
You what?
Oh my God,
I said people don't even give it a second look. It's just normal stuff.
Yeah, it was just normal stuff, right? Somebody getting beat up in the street or whatever.
I thought you said that 103 was second due that day.
Whoa!
Petey's like this right now. He's like,
Gary.
Yeah, he's on it now, bro. Somebody, you know, the vaccine woke him up, and now he's
that's what it was.
He's full of picks of vinegar now, bro. He's ready.
My pending lawsuit.
The CDC came out with something, you know. Like,
and he's like, "Well,
furious.
Come on.
That's the only fire stories we got from 107.
No, I got a couple of them.
Throw them out there. Come on, we love fire stories from down in East New York, bro.
I told you I was a white cloud, so I'm working the 6x9 tour on July 4th, and I turned to 5th grade. I turned grade the next day at midnight. So the captain Patty calls me into the office, and my first captain, as well as these guys, he spoke with a brogue. He did. So I go into the office to see the captain. And he goes, Ronnie, I'm giving you. First, he gives me the front piece. He goes, "Yeah, put this on your helmet." I go, "Cap, I'm going to keep it on the rig until midnight, and then I'll put it on my front, you know, because that's when I turned get off probation." So he goes, "I'm giving you the knob tonight, and if you don't catch a job, put your paper in for the boats." And he left. He walked out of the firehouse. So the pressure was on, and Pickin and Shepard at 2:00 in the morning. I mean, when the lights went out, we never saw the Firehouse again until the next morning. And Pickin and Shepard, we were first due. We got a nice 2-room job that I finally got an official, because any job I went to, you can't count that as a fire. That's inside rubbish. That's not outside rubbish.
Inside rubbish.
You know, I always came up short. And the guy that I went there with, Billy Dunleavy, who's retiring now as a deputy also, we were in the same probie class together. He he caught all the work, and I missed all the work, you know, when I first got there. But you know what? Over time, it evens out. Everybody, you go to fires. And
not that night, baby. Not that night, Ronnie.
No, not that night for sure.
And you didn't have to go to the fucking boots.
You have to go to
I didn't have to go to the boats.
Did you put your front at 2 a.m? Did you put your front piece on after that, bro?
At midnight, while we were driving all over the city, I can't even tell you where we were. We were all over the freaking place.
That's 4th of July, baby. Back in the day, right?
I'll tell you what, one time in 107, about 15 seconds after the ball drop, a run comes in and we go out the door and the dispatcher's going, "Happy New Year to the greatest fire department in the world. 107, it sounds like work, in between all the we had that year, I don't know what year it was, 91, 92, we had the first job in the city guaranteed. I just can't remember the year. We gave it 1075 about 18 seconds after midnight.
Really?
It was a Project Fire up on Fountain Avenue. The project's over there, the Cypress Hills houses.
What were the big buildings right by the firehouse there?
Oh, that was
Linden
go ahead, Joey.
I hated those freaking buildings.
Oh,
Yeah,
you had to walk up. You had to walk up the two.
Yeah.
The two.
yeah, you were
sections there.
you got up to the building because you had
Holy shit!
those buildings were over a train yard, so you got to get up, walk up the stairs, then get
far
away.
Sorry,
you know?
Joe. 4 out of
Stamp
5 of
pipes.
those.
So you had to all the guys were carrying these stamp pipes on a July night, the second time at 104 degrees, and we would walk up this thing, go in, come back down. You had to walk down the shit. I mean, it was just I hated those buildings, man. And I had a few jobs in there, but nothing really ever.
Yeah, we had a bunch.
There
We
was
had a fire in there one time, and a lady met us in the hallway. It's down to your shoelaces. She's in a house smock and slippers, and she goes, "Come on, fireman, I'll show you where it is." Oh, she walked down the hall. She's walking in the hallway, taking a feed like a champ. She was.
You know what her middle name ain't? Petey.
No, we can't hear you, Joe.
you can't hear.
What'd you say?
Oh, I said that wasn't her first fire, Ronnie.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. I had jobs like that too, where the woman is standing in her kitchen and it's freaking snotty. We're on our knees. Like, this freaking chick's more fire dirty than us.
Handed a nozzle. You should have just handed a nozzle, bro.
He's like, "Come on, guy. It's 2 rooms down on the left in the back.
I'll take your hand. Come on.
Yeah.
Hold on to my house dress.
Hold on to my schmuck.
My schmuck.
Hold on to my moo-moo.
Captain Patty was tough as nails too. It could be down to the floor. He'd have his helmet back on his head, his coat wide open, and you'd hear this in the smoke. Who was that coughing? I'd be licking nails out of the fucking floor. And go, "Who's that coughing?" Look up with the snot's hanging off your face. Go, "Captain, it's not me."
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
But he was a lieutenant for a long time at 214.
Yep.
Too, before he came up.
Wow.
So he's a lot of
Nut house.
Yeah, what a good guy.
He was the first fight that I can remember with Patty. He was, of course, my first captain, and like they said, leather lungs. It was the same back then. Also, I don't know if you guys realize, but we weren't allowed to wear. If you were first due, your company was a bunch of pussies. If you even brought a mask, so that's the way it was. Second due, only put.
Oh, second due. Oh, he's on it now. Who is that guy?
Now he's interrupting the guests now too. Look at that.
I'm gonna do it.
But anyway, so that was the attitude. Was that you didn't wear a mask. So I had a nozzle job with Captain Corcoran, Patty, and I was gagging. He said, I thought I wasn't doing a good job. You're crawling in, your ass kicked, you put the fire out, and he goes, "Nice job, Joel. Now go take a break." And he's just like standing next to me, and here I am on my hands and knees. You feel like you're gagging up a lung, but that's the way he was. He was tough.
Yeah.
Very, very tough.
We had Dennis Smith on, and he was saying that the nozzleman, the backup, never took a mask. It was always the guy. It was either the doorman, and that was it.
Doorman and the control man.
Yeah. So they could move up on the line, but they never took a mask.
They had Lou. What you were talking about with the Linden Plaza, our SOP over there in 225 was out there. The old mask, the Spider-Man mask. We had just gotten 4.5 masks, and the guys didn't know how to use them. So the Spider-Man masks were in suitcases. If you ever saw it,
yeah.
And they used to. One guy would take a hand truck, load the suitcase, and bring it up in the elevator.
Ah.
That's the way they did it.
Yeah, but if you saw those buildings, it was just a disaster waiting to happen over there. Really.
Yeah.
There's 4 It's a 5-building complex. 4 of them are 17 stories high, and they're 3 stories above a railroad repair yard.
Right.
And the firehouse was right next to it. The bunk room was right there. They're fixing trains all night, train whistles, air brakes going. It was a horror show. But remember, we used to get the 1800 box over there. We get this 1800 box literally on a 24, could be 10 times. Some guy was calling it in, and we go there so many freaking times, man. It was relentless. The fire marshals finally caught this guy after like 7 or 8 months of that kind of stuff, all night long, all day long. 1800 box was.
We had a guy doing that, pulling the same box until he did it one time when it snowed, and we followed his tracks right back to his fucking house, bro.
What company was that?
Nice.
288.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. He must have pulled the box fucking 10 times in a row, man, and it was snowing. And then finally, he pulled. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's fucking footprints are right here. He followed his footprints right down the block, right to his house.
He would have got three times. That would have been it, and then I would have either ran it over or never rewound it. Something
broken.
It.
Call it in.
Broken. Smash it with the maul. Something is not. That's it. Allegedly.
Allegedly. That really happened.
So, yeah. Ray, you got a story? Come on, Ray. Give us one of yours.
Ronzoni's got them all. He'll put one up there.
Come on, Ronnie. Throw a story. You have a lot of stories. Go ahead.
Well, you know the types of buildings, they look like brownstones, but they're called we call them limestone buildings because they were a light-colored masonry, and they definitely had, the same characteristics of a brownstone, but not as big. So we pull up. This guy, Georgie Waltz, is the lieutenant in the engine, and we pull up. This guy lights the top floor on fire, pours gasoline all over himself, and he jumps out the window. So as we're coming up to the front door, the officer goes, he's out of the building. He's safe. So we step over him, and we drag the line in, and we get up to the second floor. And you know that passage in the engine book where it says, if you could advance the nozzle a couple of more feet just to make that turn, the fire will darken down. Well, I got George Walsh in my ear going, either move this fucking line in or get the fuck out of the way. And I'm telling you, if you asked me in that moment in time, there was gasoline coming out of the end of that hose because that fire was not darkening down. Until we did that, we got a couple of more feet, made the turn, then the fire went out. But prior to that, it was a shit show. And he's behind me, so he's got no heat on him. I'm the heat shield for the officer. And it was a tough job to make that turn, but the fire went out.
Isn't there a better way to kill yourself than to douse yourself with gasoline and jump out the window? Is there an easier way to go than that?
I would think so.
Who were some of the Chiefs that you remember that you liked there that were really good? Anybody?
Mike Quinn.
Yeah, Mike Quinn was great.
We played with 44 years, I believe.
Guy,
top shelf guy.
Yeah, Messbauer.
Petey Fink was a great guy. Jimmy McCarthy.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Iannuzzi was a nice guy too.
Messbauer.
Messbauer.
He became a deputy, right?
Deputy.
Yeah.
I had him at the Father's Day fire. That guy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We got a good Artie Messbauer story. He hits the football pool, the Monday night pool. So they pay him in quarters. They pay him in quarters. $500 in quarters all
Always
over the 3-9 desk. For the next 5 years, he paid for every meal in quarters.
In the quarters.
Good for him.
$15.
Good for him.
Laid out. One night, Johnny Brown laid out for the meal, and Messbauer pays him $15 in quarters. And Brown's lieutenant, this shit ain't fucking right. This ain't fucking right. No.
I love it.
Good for him,
That's
bro.
great.
Let me ask you this, guys. Ron, you sent us this photo right here of a second alarm. What went on in this one?
This is the Linden Plaza houses. Johnny DiRienzo was missing from this picture because he was going on his way to the burn center. But we came out of quarters and
that's Frank. There's what's his name?
Campisi, Shirali, Matty Yellowco, Sally
right.
Prince is in the front. You got Steve Russack in the back where you can't make out his helmet piece. Steve Cascarelli, Uncle Stevie, we called him. Harold Jacobs is behind Uncle Stevie, and Mike Stein is to the left side of the picture. And that's Frank Campisi next to me, Joe Shirali. But that was the second alarm on arrival. they had a guy in the hallway. I had the roof, so I was on the floor above, but they had a guy out in the hallway, fully, all his clothes burnt off him. The door was cherry red, and that was Chief McCarthy's first fire in the Linden Plaza houses. It was a second alarm on arrival.
Nice.
It was a shit ton of fire up there, man.
Did Campese do his whole time in 107?
225 first, and then the 107.
Right, but he stayed a fireman there, right?
Yeah, he stayed on Lincoln Avenue. Yeah.
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 And he didn't want to come on the show tonight? What happened? It's too.
You know what? Technical difficulties beyond his control.
All right, we'll give him a pass.
He's good for a future guest, man. That guy is one of the funniest guys, and these guys will agree with me.
Right.
One of the funniest guys I ever met. Oh my God, the stuff he did, said, came up with. Oh,
Very
Jesus.
funny guy. Very
Yeah.
You can't even say half of the stuff.
Yeah.
It's X-rated.
So, Coogs, you want me to give my story of the golf outing the last time, or what?
I think you should, bro. I think you should. If you say the golf outing, does Lieutenant know what you're talking
I don't know.
about?
He doesn't. I don't know if he
It
remembers.
doesn't look like he's not.
No.
I know what you're talking. I think
I don't know. I don't know. So what happens is
You tell the story. I got to take a piss.
all right, good. So we're playing in that was on Garrow's golf outing, right?
Yes.
On Garrow's charity. So Lieutenant Garrow, Captain Garrow, he ended up passing away from 9/11 cancer. So his wife and his kids, they set up this golf outing, great time. So 288 had it. There was a lot of guys from
111 guys, whoever.
111 guys, and we saw all the guys from 107, and they had a whole table. So through guys were coming up to us, and we had just kind of really started the show, and blah blah blah. So Ray comes up to me and he's like, "Louie, listen, I love the freak. guys love the show.
Oh, you.
But Ronnie is, he loves the show. He's in the chat. We know. He's like, listen, you got to go over there. All the chiefs are sitting around him. You just got to go there and say, hey, listen, you want to be on the show? You want to be on the show? Skip over Ronnie and say, you want to be on the show? You want to be on the show? You want to be on the show? I'm like, dude, I cannot do that. He's like, bro, you got to do it. Everybody knows already at the table. I said, all right. So he's like, come over in like 5 minutes. So he goes, sits down, and now I'm like this. Holy shit, man. I'm like, all right. So I look over and he's looking at me like, he's like, come on. So he's
going like this. Come on over.
Yeah. He's like, let's go. So I come over and I'm like, hey guys. I'm like, hey Lou. It's like almost so fake. They're like, hey, how you doing, Lou? We love the show. All this shit. So I'm like, hey Chief, long time no see. How you been? Good. Hey, listen, we'd like to have you on the show. And I start doing the, you want to be on the show? Hey Ray, you want to be on the show? Flip over, I go right past Ronzoni, and I'm like, you want to go be on the show? You want to be on the show? And I'm looking at his face, and I can't even keep.
It's like a kid doesn't get a Christmas present in the morning, bro. Everybody else,
I can't even keep a straight face.
Oh shit!
So I don't know if somebody said something, and. Ron said something like, they said, what's the matter, Ron? You don't want to be on the show? He's like, yeah, I want to be on the show. Something like that. I forget what the fuck happened.
I don't think I said that.
I don't even remember how it was. I kind of snuck out of there. I don't remember.
It wasn't me, Ronnie. It wasn't me.
Now I'll tell you the nickname that my brother gave Ray on a Myrtle Beach golf trip, Eddie Haskell.
Eddie Haskell.
Mrs. Cleaver. How are you, Mrs. Cleaver? It's so nice to see. Then he's flicking Beaver's ear and he's messing up somebody's hair. He's a very nice guy, Ray. Lovely
but
guy.
he's got that little devil in him, bro.
Lovely guy.
They know.
I meant it in a nice way. Is his catchphrase when he's breaking your balls and shooting arrows at you.
To me, I thought that was like a perfect fireman thing. Like that's a perfect.
Everybody was in on it except
everybody was in on it except him.
Listen, they did that to me at work one day. I showed up for a tour, and everybody, both the engine and truck, no one's talking to me. They gave me the silent treatment. So I'm like, you motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. See, there's Eddie Haskell showing up.
There he is.
Barney, listen, before they tell you anything, tell them about the pole story. You got to tell them that story.
I'll tell them the pole hole story, but I'll give him another fire story because no one else is giving fire stories. Georgie Walsh, like the guy I told you, Big Red from 290-103. He's a fireman. He's a lieutenant in 107. Crescent and Stanley. We were 1014 engine back then. We go out the door, third due engine up on Atlantic. It's 107, 175, 332, and 236. We're standing fast. We get released from the box and we go back. And Billy Dunleavy's working. He's got the nozzle. I got the backup. Johnny Farrell's the control man, and Georgie Walsh is the officer. Zampi is the engine boy, the engine chauffeur. So Bots comes in, Crescent and Stanley. We're all by ourselves. We pull up, and we can see we got a job. So they give it 1075. So we get to the front door, and they were duplex. Like one was semi-attached, apartment in, apartment up, and was on the second floor. So we're looking up the stairs, and I look at Billy Dunleavy. I go, "We're going to put our masks on right here, right?" He goes, "Yeah." Georgie Walsh has got his coat over his arm. He's got his jacket wide open. His helmet's on the back. He's got these zip-up shoes. They look like beetle boots, right? He grabs the bail of the nozzle, and he's trying to take the line up the stairs. Billy Dunleavy steps on the line. Meanwhile, he's dating Dunleavy's aunt. So I go, "Oh, your uncle gave you the nozzle today, huh?" So we get to the top of the stairs, and it's fucking really down to the floor bad. And all of a sudden you hear in the smoke, "I'm having chest pains." The lieutenant goes down. Johnny Farrell's the control man. He doesn't have his mask on because he wants to save air in case he's got to move up on the line. So I said he rickshawed him down the stairs. He grabbed him by his ankles and pulled him down the street. His head hit every fucking stair tread. We stretched, we searched, we located the fire and vented without an officer. They put us in for a unit citation, and Walsh wanted a hyperbaric chamber. The job wanted to charge him with dereliction of duty and all kinds of shit. They wanted to hook him up with charges, man. We should have got something for that fire.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, because right. I'm telling you, he goes, "I'm having chest pains," and he goes,
"Did he have a heart attack?"
Yeah, that's
no,
right.
he just was overcome with smoke, and they put him in a hyperbaric chamber.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
They got him back.
Man down.
He was a tough one. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
You know what? That just reminded me of something really fast. I remember I think I was a probie 1 year. I was in 117, and we were on the stair waiting to, guys were up, in the conga line. If there was one guy that had to be like 20 guys, and you couldn't see like halfway up. And all of a sudden I heard somebody going, 5 minute trouble, 5 minute trouble. And all of a sudden this guy come running down the middle of everybody. He's like, 5 minute trouble, make way, 5 minute trouble. And it was him. I don't even remember where the guy was from, but I don't remember. But it was just that stuck out in my mind. Like, just see this guy's like, holy shit, that is so fucking funny.
So Ray wants me to tell you the pole hole story.
So, allegedly.
Oh, well, no. This is
this is fact.
I took the bait, hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, so what happened to
as
you?
you said earlier on, Lou, Kevin, our house had a bunch of pretty muscular guys, all big, jacked up monsters, and
Joe,
we're standing outside. What?
He's not talking about me and Joe.
No.
So Eddie O'Neill comes into the Firehouse, and he's a pretty strong guy, and Frank Campisi. So O'Neill's doing this. He's going, "Hey Frank, what do you say we do a little back today? We'll work out on the back." I just got out of Proby. I'm standing there like a brand new, So he's like, "Yeah, we'll do back today. What do you want to do?" Well, remember the last time we pulled the weights up the pole hole with the rope? So they're like, "Yeah, we'll start at 150 and go up from there." So Lieutenant Murphy comes out of the office. He goes, "What's going on? You're going to do what?" He goes, "Yeah, we're going to do the lift weights up the pole hole." So Murphy peels off a $20 bill, puts it on the battalion card. "I got $20 that says you can't." Before you know it, there's fucking money flying everywhere. There's a pile of money on the Chiefs card. They turn around, they look at me, go, "How much do you weigh?" I go, "I weigh 200 pounds. He goes, "I'll pull him up the pole hole." He goes, "Remember how to do the knot?" I'm like, "Yeah." I bet. I tied my own knot. I'm standing in the pole hole. I'm looking up, and Eddie O'Neill's looking down. He's going, "You ready?" I'm like, "Yeah." He reaches down with his hand, and he grimaces, and I went up. There was 4 guys on the end of the rope. They pulled me up.
They locked you off.
They dragged the bed across the engine side of the bunk room door, tied the fucking thing off, and there I am swinging in the pole hole. Floral protein foam, pancake batter, Cheerios. I felt fat. My uncle Tony Volpe was a lieutenant 257. Told me, "Don't go near the pole hole," and I.
Come on, everybody knows the pole hole,
dude,
bro.
Take it easy, bro. It took me 2 years,
bro. Take it easy.
I got Richie Harold was the next victim. I got him 2 years after me.
So you passed it on.
Right. I was able to set somebody up. And
I like the pancake batter. That's
nice. I loved it too. Yeah. It was my favorite.
But
here's the funny part. So now they finally let me down. We're playing basketball in Staten Island. I drive over to Staten Island. I got all my work duty clothes in the car. I get home and my wife's like, "What happened to you?"
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
stuff
"Shut
smells
up
like
and give me
shit,
a
right?
butter knife." I had to chisel the freaking shit off my shoes. Everything hardened. I was encapsulated in crap. And Chief Rehill, he was covering for the day in a 3-9. He looked up the pole hole, he shook his head, and he kept on going. So, yeah, that was, I fell for that one, hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker. That wasn't, it was fun. You know, it sucked, but it was fun. Yeah.
Good, clean fun.
So,
Good clean fun.
absolutely.
We got to get one from the chief. Chief, you got another one? What do you got?
Well, I was just going to tell a quick, you know, what we were talking about before, nobody wore masks, right? So in the beginning, when I first got there, there was still a lot of vacant work, you know? So, and also, like today in a firehouse, 1 or 2 guys smokes. When I first started on the job, 60 guys in the firehouse, 58 guys smoked. I was one of the 2 that did. So we get a vacant.
So true.
We get a vacant in a tenement, and back then it was not uncommon that they would destroy the stairs, they gutted the building. You know how it was, right? All Mongo, they would take this for fiction, that stuff. So it was not uncommon. You'd throw like a 20-foot straight up to the first floor balcony, you know, the fire escape, second floor, I'm sorry, fire escape, and we go in that way. So we're stretching the line. I was in the engine, stretching the line up the balcony. The black freaking smoke's billowing out. And half the guys are still smoking as we're stretching the line, right? I got the hookup, and they still call it that? Yeah. Well, anyway, I got the hookup, so I'm control. So I get to the top of the second floor balcony. I get up, right? I'm following the line up, and this guy John Congello, he's finishing his cigarette like this, and he's got it, and this black smoke shit is billowing out the window, and he takes his last drink and he flicks and he goes, "Let's go, Joey." And we're going into this black shit. He needed that last drag on a cigarette.
Let's go, Joey.
Let's go, Joey.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, when you pulled up, it was impressive. You got all this fire, you got all this smoke. But because all the windows were out, all you had to learn was you get in and step to the side. You know what I mean? You weren't in the chimney anymore, so they weren't as nasty. I mean, they were dangerous. The fire spread fast. You could get jammed up, but I don't think there's too much of that anymore in the city, I would say, right?
What,
No,
vacants?
not much.
They got one smart thing that Koch did. He started bulldozing the vacants. You know.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Go ahead, Ronnie.
I was going to tell you a story early on when I was still in the engine, night tour. 107's backing in the quarters, and they back directly into 225's officer's door, and they crush the door. The chauffeur pulls the rig up, straightens it out, backs in, gets out, looks at the engine, laughs, and walks off. So it's like 2:30 in the morning. I get Johnny Brown, also known as Onion Head. He got out as the captain of 102. I go, Onion Head, you got to help me out. I was a glass guy, so I knew what. We swapped the doors on the rig at 2:30 in the morning. I took the dented door and put it on the truck, and I took the other door and put it on the engine. Could you imagine if a run would have came in while the door was off the rig? We did that, and then the next morning I got early release when I took off, and Maggio was the captain in the truck, I think. He's like, I knew fucking Caraba did that. I got to get that. I was gone for 3 weeks. They couldn't but that was a pretty cool gotcha in the middle of the night. You know, no one was the wiser, and the engine looked mint, and the truck looked like shit.
Nice, good job, bro.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Lieutenant because he got promoted. Now you went to SOC, right? After you got promoted, Lieutenant.
Well, no, I went to 35 truck for a couple of years first, like 2.5 years. I stayed.
So, what makes you want to go to SOC after being in?
Well, we used to run in with Rescue 1, and I used to like all their tools and what they did. I always did construction, so it looked like a nice place to go.
So why'd you pick? You wound up as in 252, right?
Well, yeah. The captain that I worked with, he was a covering lieutenant, Steve Rossweiler, real good guy. So I knew him from when I was in 107. He covered through us. So I was a chauffeur. I drove him once in a while. But when I was covered in SOC, I covered probably for 2 years before I took a company, because it was very nice, all the companies I worked in.
Yeah, that's what I remember you bouncing through.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I go to 288. I do a vacation, and we'll go to Hazmat, do a vacation. It's very nice.
And then you wound up at 252.
Then I
Okay.
wound up at 252. Yeah.
Now, was it hard to adjust to the sock work? You know, as not being first due and.
No, well, 252 is first due, and they get along with all the surrounding companies, and they're a great engine company.
Right, but when you come in as a SOC unit, you know, as opposed to first due companies, did it take you a while to adjust to that mentality of, you know, filling in the cracks as opposed to being first due or second due companies?
As a rescue company, but not as a squad, because as a squad, you are first due engine. So you do what you're supposed to do. And then the rescues, you know, different. Actually, one time in Rescue 2, Ronnie will attest to this. We pulled up with Rescue 2 and 107, 101, I know 175 was at the fire. So I pull up with Rescue 2, and as we're pulling in, I see the fire's going on. So I said on a handy talkie, which I know I shouldn't have, but I said, Chief, you can let the coward 107 in now. We're here. Keep them safe. Not true,
Yeah.
Ronnie?
Yeah, that was true. And, you know, we knew who it was coming from, Eddie Haskell. You know, we figured that out.
Eddie Haskell.
The guys in R2 were pissed off at him because he says, hey, Lou, you're only covering here for the tour. We got to deal with these guys the next time we come this way, man. And you're talking
True
all
that,
this shit,
bro.
you know?
Yeah.
They said to me, listen, they hate us already. Now they hate us even more. We're real good guys. Rescue crew, good guys.
How long?
When they were on Bergen Street, though, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
Ruffy, they were far from you, weren't they?
Yeah, but by the
Yeah.
time we got there, you know, I guess 107 wasn't doing the right thing, so we showed up.
Usually, for them to get to East New York, it would have to be
Definitely
going.
so. It
They'd
was,
have to be out.
already.
Yeah.
It was more of a joke. You know.
By the time they got there, all the companies around there were very aggressive. So, you know, we kind of took care of business.
Unless it was, you know, this was out of control.
All in fun.
I just got a text from Timmy Sonnenberg, and he said, "Tell a mono story." I got a funny mono story that I think is pretty funny. And back when we were in the 24 group chart, we only had 3 guys on a back step in the 1014 engine, so we got a spare Mac engine in the Firehouse, and it was a relatively slow night. I don't think we went out the door until 2:30, and then we caught a couple of runs afterwards. But Billy Thompson was detailed from 290. It was myself, John Brown, and Jimmy Dunleavy, who's the 6th Division commander now. We're on the back step, but all night we're trying to figure something out. And when they used to have the old Macs, they would take the clip from the clipboard and just screw it into the dashboard, and then the officer would put the run under there. So we're tinking around underneath the engine, and we find a live wire under there. We strip it out, and we bring it up to the freaking loop. And then we take another wire,
awesome.
and we freaking ground it out, and we touch it, and there's a spark. So now the booby trap is set. Now we're just waiting for a run to come in. So like 2:30, the sparks comes in for a signal engine response, and Mono gets in the engine. We're all in the back looking through the window, and he goes to put the thing in. There's this big fucking spark. He's sitting back like this, staring at the dashboard. And Billy Thompson's going, "Hey Lou, they're calling you." He goes, "I'm not touching that. I'm gonna get electrocuted." So we go out the door. It's a freaking 9-2. We come back, and now we're in the bunk room, and we are crying. And then you see the look on his face when the spark. We're all laughing. All of a sudden, the bunk room door cracks open a sliver, and you can see an eyeball. And he's looking around, and he's looking for John Brown. So he comes into the bunk room. He goes over by Brown. He hangs his ass right over his head, and he rips the biggest fart. And this is what he says as he's leaving. That was retribution for the electrocution.
Love it.
Sleep that night. It was hilarious.
Retribution for the electrocution, bro.
Oh my God, my fucking face.
Yo, here's another monoism. We got an EMS run, and this guy is in the corner all banged up. He goes, and he's got the engine huddled up. EMS shows up, and he tells us, "Men, it looks like he's suffering from the dreaded gangy disease." So we're like, "Oh yeah, Lou, what's that?" He goes, "Oh, that's when your body breaks out in little assholes and shits all over itself." the dreaded gangy. This guy came out with so many things. He would write narratives on fire reports. Where did you get this information? Murray Slice, Holmes Slice's brother, in writing. The guy would do stuff like this all the time. And we can't even tell you some of the things he did because we'd get in trouble. Nothing bad, but just his mouth, his mindset. You know, he would tell a bunch of stories. We're sitting in the kitchen and he's telling us, yeah, I got a son. He's an airline pilot. He goes, I got another son. He's an accountant. Hey, Lou, don't you have a daughter? He goes, yeah, but she's going to be home for a real long time. Well, why is that? He goes, she looks exactly like me. This guy. His wife was a school teacher and he was a fireman. He told people at these school functions that he went to UCLA. I said, UCLA, Berkeley? No. University on the corner of Lincoln Avenue, East New York, Brooklyn. He called the Firehouse UCLA, man. There was so many things that guy did. Funny man. He died too soon. Really a great guy.
Yeah. I wanted to pick up some pictures of now both Lieutenant and Chief. You both have sons on the job?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Pete, let's pull up the Chief's sons first. He's got sons on the job.
You go ahead and chat. I'll find those photos.
All right. You have how many sons on the job, Chief?
I got Thomas. They both were in the same probie class.
That's my son.
Nope, that's Lieutenant Ray.
Yeah,
those are my sons.
Yeah.
So tell him about it.
Here we go.
Tell him about which son.
There's Chief.
Oh, you had the big kahuna in there too, huh?
Big kahuna in there.
That's Tommy Richardson. He was the chief operations at the time, and that's my son Thomas. Went to 58 truck. Raymond is next. He went to 42 truck where I was a captain. That's me, and that's my brother Mike, who is the captain of 222 right now.
He's still on the job. How many years does he have on? Chief?
He's got 30. He's coming up on 30.
Oh wow, good for him, man.
Yeah, he's doing all right. And they were in the same probie class, so it was nice.
Oh, they were in the same probie class together?
Yeah. Yep. That's ceremony right there.
That's interesting.
Chief Richardson was very good to me with the assignments. So
where are they now?
58 truck and 42 truck up in the Bronx.
Oh, great.
Huh.
How much time do they have now?
They're coming up on 4 years. That's Commissioner Nigro. That's my brother, Mike. That's Thomas. That's myself, Raymond, and Chief Sudnick, John Sudnick.
Yeah.
Are they studying, Chief?
I was just going to ask that.
I think they're going to take a shot, but they're not really that serious about it right now. You always feel you want to learn the job.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I started probably about that time, 3-4 years. I definitely felt that when I started reading, that it definitely made me better fireman. Like things I didn't realize, just where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, just the little things in the book that really pop out at you because you have to take a test. You know what I mean? And then you start really realizing that stuff.
I think anybody would tell you that even no matter how you make out in a promotion exam, it makes you a better fireman,
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I remember exactly what you just said, Lou, is that I remember some Tommy Dans and a couple guys that came to me and they're like, Buddy Roop, and I think he had like 4 or 5 years, and I was like, I'm not even comfortable being a fireman yet. And I said, I don't want to be a lieutenant yet. And they go, you asshole, you won't get promoted till like 6 years from now. We didn't test it.
And that was true. I got promoted. I was just like 9.5 years. That's exactly right.
Yep, I had.
And you know what? Not to interrupt you, Coobs. This was another thing, Chief. If it ain't you, it's going to be somebody else with that time. So it might as well be you. You know what I mean? And that's the truth.
That's true.
Is your brother studying, or is he going to finish at captain?
I think he might take a shot at chief.
Yeah.
Before he gets out, and that
He's
picture.
in a good spot though, man. 222 is a good spot.
Yeah, that's a good place. 222. I did a couple tours in a 3.7. Was very nice too. That's my son Raymond on the left, and then that's my brother Mike. That's my nephew right next to him. He's on EMS right now, and he's supposed to be coming. Hopefully, not the next class, 2023.
So that's it. That's your
brother's kid.
222.
Yeah. Thanks. Yep.
Awesome. Very good.
Stays in the family. I love it.
Yeah. That's third generation, right? I had my father, myself.
Yeah. That's freaking awesome.
Now let's take it to the guy with 4 generations over there, Petey. Now you can pull that guy's up.
Nope.
Yeah, that's him. There you go.
Okay, then now that picture to explain the kid in the Coast Guard uniform is the fireman now,
Right.
and the one in the fireman uniform was on EMS for 5 years, but they didn't offer a fireman's test, so
Oh,
he
shit.
aged out. He couldn't get onto fire, so he wound up leaving EMS.
What is he
What do you
doing
mean he
now?
aged out? What does
He's
that
doing
mean?
construction for, he's in the union now doing construction.
Right.
Love to get on the fire department.
I guess he was in EMS. They didn't offer the promotion test, right?
No.
And then he was too old to take it, right?
Yeah,
That
for
sucks.
almost 5 years. Yeah, it's terrible.
And where's
Is that
your son?
right? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Eric was on many years. They didn't offer a promotion test for a long time.
Oh, that sucks. And where is your other son who's on the job now? Where's he at?
It's 71 engine now.
Is that the War Wagon?
They
71?
call
Is
it
that
the war wagon. Yeah,
the War Wagon up in the Bronx?
yeah. So he likes it. He loves it there. He's
Yeah.
doing
Is
great.
How much
Yeah.
time does he have, Ray?
He has, I think he has 5 years. He was on, I think, the class before your kids, Joe. But
Oh yeah.
he bought back his military time and whatever time. So I think he's doing pretty good with the time.
Does he want to go to the truck or?
I'm not sure. I'm sure the guys in his company would love to hear he wants to go to rescue. I love that.
They would love that.
He doesn't, but I'm telling you.
Let's start
guys
that rumor.
talk?
Let's start that rumor.
Yeah, why not?
Let's call
Right,
over to
right.
71. Say, hey,
Petey, let's phone a friend.
Ray,
I heard Bressingham's going to the rescue.
What can happen, right? What can
Yeah,
happen?
what's going to happen?
I love teasing my son.
Ray, you got to tell the story. That's the Eddie Haskell coming out, right? The story you told me when your son was in Proby school, you asked Tommy Richardson for a favor. What did you do? When you were,
Oh, boy.
Ronnie and I went to visit Tommy
Yeah.
Richardson. We brought a cake and everything, but he never gave us any cake, right, Ronnie?
Yeah, we gave him the pastries, and he said, "All right, guys, have a nice day." We
oh, what you did?
I went
get
in
a cannoli
to
out.
Proby school with Ronnie to see where my son was, right? So I went walking around, and Tommy Richardson said he was supposed to call him up to the office. We were going to break his balls, have some fun, but he was busy. So he says he's doing something with ropes or whatever. So we wound up going to his assignment, speaking with him and speaking to his DI and having a few laughs, which were real good guys. But when we left, his drill instructor told him, says, "What's the matter with you, fella? Doesn't he know we're going to break your balls when he leaves?" He said, "Why do you think he's here?"
Oh, yeah, he knows that.
Yeah, man.
I did the same thing to my son in the EMS academy. I went to visit him too, to tease him. Of
Torture him.
Yeah.
course.
You know, having these three guys on the show, you know what that means now, Roof?
What's
They
that?
they could be officially invited to the next year's boat cruise, bro.
Oh, the
Because
boat-
they're alumni, bro.
Oh.
Did you hear about the boat cruise that we had?
No.
Oh, we had we got a buddy who owns the John J. Harvey old fireboat, and we took out all the former guests and we did a cruise around Manhattan. So we think we're going to make that a yearly thing. It was great. It was amazing.
We had like
I-
50
on the-
or 60 guys.
Very much guys, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, Bertha was there.
Yeah. I saw Tommy Burke was there too.
Yeah.
Hey,
Who?
Norton.
Sorry.
Tommy Burke. Yeah, I drove him home. He lives right by. He lives a couple of blocks from me.
Oh,
Now,
does he?
I gotta ask, what is this photo here? I'm just curious.
Whoa, I like that.
Oh, look at Pete. He's been holding that ace. He's got that ace in the hole.
What's this one? Of all the pictures, what would this one be?
That was in Florida by Naples, Florida.
Okay.
Boat parade, yes.
Boat parade. I wonder for
Yeah.
who. Jeez, I don't
You
know.
have a house
Come on, man.
in Naples, Chief?
Yes.
Lou? You
Come
do?
on, man.
So do you go to the parade in Naples?
Not as often, but I do go once in a while. Yes.
You know, we have a Gettin Salty show down in Naples every year for the parade now.
I didn't know that.
We're
Now you'll
we're
have to
stretching
come.
Out. You know what I mean? We're really
Well,
stretching out.
we're really extending ourselves, so it'll be. We usually have it around the St. Patty's Day parade. We go down there, we do a beach party.
That's
So
a-
now
drink.
you're
Just drink.
officially invited to
Drink.
that as well. Look at that. What's a drink
That's all we
fest?
do. Just drink.
that sounds great.
Beach
Drink.
party
I'll
sounds
watch.
better. But drink.
I'll watch. You guys drink.
You could come. You coming?
I know you can
Ronzoni?
come. Yeah, no worries.
You're gonna come.
Hey,
It's right.
here's a funny.
Wait,
Firehouse
before you
story.
say,
What?
wait, before the other, are you gonna bring your old lady down to Florida?
Are you
Oh, you
bringing
asked
yours?
Ronnie?
Am I
going to
bringing
bring yours?
Good answer, bro.
Come on.
Look at Coops. You cramped up on that one. He's like, oh no, I'm not going to do that.
Cramping up.
Go ahead, give us another. He's just brimming. How many pages of stories you got over there, bro? Show me them.
A couple.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you a couple of funny stories.
Go ahead.
This guy, Joe Russo, who's a lieutenant 225 engineer, retired as a captain. He's a very conscientious man, nice guy, very good. Friends with him to this day. So in the company office, they had the half door was full. They had glass, right? So you can look in. So he comes up with the idea, I want to put this shade up on the window in case the guy wants to come in and discuss something personal. At least we can have a little bit of privacy. You know, I'll pull the shade down and, maybe it'll put the guy at ease. The second after that thing went up and he goes home, they go in there, they pull the shade down, and they cut out the whole center of the fucking shade. They put the thing back up, and there was a perfect setup because when the guy comes back for a tour, a guy says, "Hey, look, can I talk to you about something personal?" In the office?
He goes to pull the shade.
He goes to pull the shade down. He's looking right out the fucking window. He ripped the fucking thing down. You motherfucker. He went nuts.
We really have a lot of wasted talents.
Oh, for sure, man. Two other funny stories. You know the old home weight sets, Coobs? You know about these with the narrow
plastic
chrome bar in the middle, right? So Frank Zampi, senior man, he tells Harold Jacobs and John Brown, I'm going to teach you guys something. He goes, it's a flour cannon. You take that little thing from the weights, you put toilet paper in the other side, you fill it up with flour, and then you take a Scott bottle and you make a cannon out of the flour. He shows them that. 10 minutes later, Zampi takes over the 12-by watch. He's got his feet up on the desk. There's a sliding window where the company officer is. They put the thing 3 inches from his head, and they blew him up. Not 5 minutes after he told them how to fucking do it.
Oh, my God.
He got destroyed. Covered in flour. Covered in flour. We did that a few times.
Covered in flour.
We did the ceiling fans and the air conditioner. We loaded everything up with flour.
We used to do that too. Yeah.
Hank Williams was a senior man in the truck. If you ask me, he's the guy I looked up to. He was a senior guy. And he goes in there. We hit, when you have the chief in, you go admit 10 for send, and the teleprinter starts printing. He's in the kitchen. He runs in there. He turns the switch on. Everything goes off. He's covered in flour, and all you can see is his lips and his eyes. He was a black gentleman. He goes,
"Oh my God!"
He did Al Jolson in whiteface, not blackface. He's like, "All right, who's the wise guy?" He's covered in foam and from head to toe in flour. It was one of the funniest things ever,
some of those the bunk rooms sometimes, right? The ceilings are so high that the air conditioners are up high, so you would have to stand on. They didn't always have a switch, you'd see guys stand up there and reach up. So you would be like right face to face. Like if you had it set, after a while, guys set it up so the switch was down low. But initially, that was all up high. That's so freaking funny.
I'll tell you one more story, which is pretty funny. It involves Frank Zampi driving, John Brown and me. We're doing hydrants. And we're greasing hydrants. And maybe a little grease got on some of the payphones that were along So we're doing this stupid shit all day, and now we decide. Zampi used to smoke Tipperellos, so he goes in the store to get Tipperellos. We get out and we grease the handle on the engine door. So Brown's got the nozzle. I got the.
You gotta run.
He goes to get in a rig. He grabs the freaking handle and he does not react. So we're like, "Did you put grease on there?" "Yeah, put plenty of grease on there." We're driving around for a couple of minutes, left, right. All of a sudden, that maxi brake goes on. He gets off the rig. We're like, where the fuck is he going? All of a sudden, we had the windows out because it was summertime. Zampi is standing at the side of the rig with a dead dog in the shovel. And he's threatening to throw it inside the cab on top of John Brown. And you want to see two grown guys begging for their lives and crawling over the engine? Dude, he didn't play at all. He just grabbed that door like nothing happened, and then we almost got a dead dog thrown. We coiled out the other side and got out the cab in a hurry. But this guy was, I'll a no-nonsense guy, senior man, but he was a good practical joke.
You got to get him on, bro. You have to get me his number, bro.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
144, Pete. I think it might be close to that time, brother.
It sure is.
I'm writing down his name here so I remember to call.
His name is Zampaglione.
Oh,
we call him Zampy.
All right. I just wrote Zampy, so I'll call you. I'll call you during the week. Number.
I thought you had some Richie Smith stories before you go.
Oh, we did, right?
Well, I'll tell my Richie Smith story.
Wait, but how did you get a Richie Smith story? I thought he was at 103, Ruff.
No, he got thrown to 103, but he was in 107 first.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you mine first because I had about a year on a job and we're standing roll call, and Dixie Duggan's got the BF4, and he's handing out the assignments, and he looks at Dick Smith. He goes, what was that you did to me on the way into the Firehouse today? And Richie Smith goes, oh, you mean this, Cap? And he sticks his finger up. Duggan grabs his finger. He's got it bent over like this. He's holding the BF4, and he looks at him. He goes, this is your last tour in ladder 107. The very next morning, he was on onion skin to 103.
Really?
He lifted him right out of the company. It gets even better. 2 weeks later, we go down to Sheffield Avenue. Richie Smith had a Sportster. We wheeled the thing outside. We used the towel out as a boom. We put the Harley up on the roof of the Firehouse, and we left it up there for like a month.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a BMW bike, but it was put. Remember, it was put up. I wasn't working that tour. It was up on the.
I was there when they boomed it up. I'm like that.
Oh
Harley,
my God, that's freaking awesome.
I like Harleys, so.
But he, he was the guy at the back of the apparatus floor. He had his motorcycle in pieces. It was just, his stuff was always in the way, and so they couldn't wait really to get rid of his stuff. To be honest with you,
he was a weird dude, bro. He was like he wasn't a mean guy. He was just a square rooter, man. He was just
smart dude too.
Yeah.
Did he have a law degree or something?
I think he did.
Some strange thing.
He went to college. I don't know what I don't remember what he did, but
he's a smart guy, Richie Smith.
Yeah, that's smart. Because I'll tell you my story.
Go ahehed. Then I'll tell you mine. I got one.
So we get
Ray's
to the
got
squad.
One too.
Yeah, we get to the squad. He passed away a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
So, I don't want to beat him up too much. But I used to tell him this too all the time. It wasn't like we didn't tell him. We find in the Firehouse. So we become the squad. Engine 288 leaves, and the hazmat's there. He's in the hazmat at the time. So we find in the bunk room, I think, there's this old vending machine. Old, like the ones like for the cigarettes. You have to pull it. Yeah, you have to pull the slat, and it comes out. But it had all other stuff in there instead. It had like whatever, little candies. They were in there forever because they lost the key or something like that. And there was these little pineapple, you know what I'm talking about, the little pineapple juices. They're like this big, they're round, but small, and they had this silver peel that you would peel off the top.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So being in the squad, right, we're all like gung-ho. So we say, we'll use this for the commissary. We'll clean it out. We'll put gum in there and stuff, and we'll use that money towards like the picnic or whatever. So we drill out the key hole, right? We get the thing open, and there's 2 cases. Like there's stuff inside there that you could, there's like a shelf in there. There's 2 cases of the fucking pineapple juice. There's this much dust on the top of it, right? Like caked on the top. So we take out the cases, right? We put them on the side, and now there's other stuff in there. We're cleaning it out. We got the Scott bottles. We're like blasting the dust out of the fucking thing, right? In the bunk room, of course. And all of a sudden, I hear. I turn around. I'm like, what the F are you doing, bro? That thing's probably like fucking 20 years old. He's like, this is refreshing. He's like, you guys want these? I said, I was going to throw them out, but if you want them, he fucking picked them up, brought them out, and later on that day, I saw them. They were in his locker. Like dude, the guy was out of it.
Took
like,
everything home, bro.
If it was free, it was for him.
Not even free. He would take whatever junk people would bring in. He'd bring it home. Didn't he have a bunch of kids too? He had a shit ton of kids, didn't he?
I don't know.
He had one daughter, I thought.
Oh, I thought he had a bunch of kids. Maybe I'm confusing him with somebody else.
Yeah. When he got transferred, he came back to the Firehouse one time, and he was doing his Christmas cards all over the Firehouse. One of the guys called it. He was doing his laundry and his girlfriend's laundry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He always did his own thing.
Did people's shit in that Firehouse.
took all the zip codes and changed all the zip codes.
It's fucking awesome.
Dude, I could. This is what a square rooter he was, bro. We do like those hot open those turkey sandwiches you put on the fucking bread, right? So they go out and they buy a big thing of turkey, so he could slice it up and put the gravy in the. And so he's got two piles. He's got one where he's got the aluminum foil on the side, and he's got the other plate. And he slices. He puts one over here, and he puts one over here. He puts one over here. I go, what are you doing, bro? He goes, well, I'm gonna bring this one home. I'm like, you're gonna bring that one home, bro? We just fucking paid for that. You're bringing that home? He said, yeah, I got to bring it home, bro. He was the biggest fucking square root.
All right. I don't want to beat him up too bad. He's not even alive, the guy.
You tell him, Ronnie.
I guess what?
So I just get to the firehouse. I'm there, I don't know, 6 months maybe. I'm sitting on a toilet bowl. So Richie Smith comes with a bucket of water, throws it right on my head. Right? So I reached down and grabbed a handful of shit and winged it at him.
Timing.
That's, I don't know. That's kind of like you screwed yourself there. But was it
No,
really me?
Come on.
Tell him why, Ray. Tell him
I'm
why.
a Marine. Everything's a weapon.
That's it, baby.
All right.
Hoorah. Hoorah.
All right. I
He
get it.
didn't have,
You don't want
he
to
didn't
hear
have
that
his
post-
airsoft gun with him at the time.
Oh.
Oh, an airsoft gun. That would have hurt. Ow.
Ow.
I got
balls.
beat.
That works.
Bit of a Zampy story, not really a Zampy story, but it was one of our screw ups. Kind of, we get a run at Church's Fried Chicken on Linden Boulevard. I don't know if you guys remember that place, right?
Yeah.
So it's in the middle of the winter time. We get a call for a heart attack, and back then, once again, we didn't have any training, no equipment, no nothing. Just the chiefs would respond with the resuscitator at the time. It was, and so anyway, you get where the story's going, right? So we got so the guy's on. He already vomited. He's probably already dead. And the manager of Church's Fried Chicken wouldn't let us in. And Duggan's the officer, the captain, and he goes apeshit on the manager. He says, "A man's life is at stake. For Christ's sake, let us in." So we muscle our way in. We're working on the guy right there by the register. People are stepping over us, ordering chicken. Can you imagine? Right? So I got the resuscitator, and I'm trying to make sure I get a good airway. And I was inexperienced, so I'm hitting him good, with the resuscitator. And Zampy standing over me after about 10 minutes. He goes, "That guy wasn't that fat when we started." So what we realized was
going up his stomach. Yeah,
into his stomach, right? So then they were breaking my balls about
fat when we
and
started.
they had to hold him down because he was ready to blow away, and all that stuff. Russack said the manager of Church's Fried Chicken was writing up a sign. "This man is dying for Church's Fried Chicken."
Oh my God! You can't even make it up.
One of those times we weren't that good. There was one other mistake we made with CPR. I was giving chest compressions. I was saying, and we were never very good at CPR. We didn't have much training. Giving chest compressions, and so once again, somebody says, "Man, this guy looks so much worse than we started." And we roll him over. He had a knife in his back. So I used to say when I CPRD training, I used to say, as a point of information, when we would practice in the chest compressions, I used to say, make sure the guy doesn't have a knife
in his back.
Because it happened to me. I used to
palpate.
say.
You got to palpate, Chief. You know what I mean?
Palpate, right? Lub dub.
Palpate.
Lub dub.
Yeah,
There you go.
All right.
Now I think it's time, Pete.
I think it is that time of day.
Knife
It
in his
is.
back.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the old school tip of the day, which tonight is brought to you by Firehouse 24/7, built by firefighters. Firehouse 24/7 solves shift scheduling programs with firsthand knowledge of the biggest administration issues faced by the fire department today. Get your overtime shifts, details, and callbacks filled automatically according to your unique department policies and union rules. Expect easy integration with the systems you already use and a first-class customer service experience with the Firehouse 24/7 team. So schedule a call with the team at firehouse247.com and get started with your free trial now. Email them at info@firehouse247.com. Departments that mention that they heard about us on the Gettin Salty Experience podcast will receive a free 2-month trial of the software.
Who doesn't love free? I love free.
If it's free, it's for me.
Dick Smith.
Right. He loved free. Yeah. Listen, like I said to you before, make sure you track your overtime marks. You do not want to leave it in the hands of this guy, and this guy. Make sure get that software, bro. Get that
That's
software.
right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. It is time for the old school tip of the day. Chief, why don't you start with us?
Well, my tip would be that I used to talk about with the guys was kind of door management, was how important doors are, how they play in the fire department. And that is not just forcing a door and controlling it, but also, I was almost always in a truck. So our job was what? Force the door. We go in, we locate the fire, right? That was our main job. Locate the fire, confine it. So if we can close the door and confine the fire with the door, now we search like gentlemen while the engine's stretching the line, right? And by the same token, unfortunately, sometimes maybe things didn't work out too good. You're in too deep. Things get bad. You can also use that door. If you happen to be in a room, you can use that door to protect yourself and buy yourself a few minutes while the engine's stretching the line.
There we go.
Okay, you're next.
Whoa. Okay, I think it's important. The riding list is very important because if you get an early relief or a late relief and the officer may be relaxing or whatever he's doing, TV, you change that riding list and you put your name on there and you replace the person that's leaving because that you never know what can happen and you need to know who's there and who's not there. And I think the riding list update is very important to BF4. That's what I have to say.
I like that too.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nice. And next, the Zoni.
My man, the Zonester.
Hey, I got one thing. I had the honor of teaching at the Proby School my last year on the job, and I would always make it a point to tell each class that I stood before at the end when they graduated that there's three things that you got to remember or you got to do to keep this job great. Number one is to always be in position and always be dressed and ready for work. Complacency kills. If you don't take it, if you're not getting dressed, you're not getting ready. When things go sideways, you're going to have a hard time playing catch up. So always be in position. The senior man rules. And the most important thing would be the traditions of the job. Anything that's passed on to you as a young fireman, you have to make sure that you pass it on to the generations that come after you. That would be one of the tips. And the other thing for company officers, as a young officer, I always had chalk in my pocket. And if I was trying to stand in front of a roll-up gate and tell guys this is how you're supposed to cut it, and you're just waving your hand around, if you take that chalk and you draw it, a picture's worth 1,000 words. A lot of guys can pick up on things visually more than by audibly saying it. So, that's just a tip that would be good for company officers, and it would just help you out when you're trying to get your point across to show guys a new technique or a new tip. That's
I like that one too, dude. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Look at him with the sneaky little Pete one thrown.
Yeah, that was a sneaky Pete one. I like that one.
Yeah, the chalk in the pocket. Chalk in the pocket.
Ray, just to touch on yours quick. The job was trying to do that. Like even when I was getting out, like making sure that we were updating, especially even on the computer, but even just most importantly for the boss, like especially, right? It really is, because you think you got one guy and now you got a totally different guy. And, let's face it, there could be trust things that, you might have a 20-year guy. Now all of a sudden you got a 2-year guy or a 3-year guy. That's a big difference. So, that was something that I really had started to pick up a little bit towards the end, which was never really discussed for years and years and years, right? I mean, it was never even thought.
It's very important to update that list.
Yeah, if I can add something to that, I remember when I got promoted, Chief Az had pulled me aside and gave me a few pointers, and one of them was, you're a covering officer, you're going into a firehouse. He goes, in the morning or the evening, you make sure you get an eyeball on every guy that's working, and you let them know who you are. But now things have changed with the computers and all stuff. But back then, say I come up missing out a job, and they're going to pull the company. I don't know, some covering guy, I never seen him before. And as the responsibility as a company officer, you got to see who you have on your backstep at the start of tour, because you're responsible for those guys. So like just, a brief, it doesn't have to be a long roll call, but just make sure you get an eyeball on everybody and they know who you are. But it's different now with all the tracking on the radios and all the stuff that they have. It's a whole different ball game. But it was a good tip back then, from an experienced guy. So definitely.
Nice job, boys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got to say this was not my idea. This was Ronzoni's idea. He said, "Let's do a 107 show," and I think it turned out great. For 3 guys, for all the information, we kind of funneled it towards the time in 107. I appreciate you guys coming on. Definitely laughed a lot. It was excellent. Good fire stories, some good funny stories, and thanks for coming on.
Let's go,
Joey.
Thanks.
Let's go.
Hey, some notables, Steve Sullivan is a 107 alumni. Johnny Cirillo, captain of R1, he was a 225 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a bunch of
pretty good alumni there. Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys that we put out. A lot of guys got promoted from Lincoln Avenue. At one time, all 4 deputy chiefs in the 1st Division were all Lincoln Avenue guys.
Yeah.
So, we Lincoln Avenue, we're not the most, at the top of the list with a lot of different things, but we definitely have a good prideful bunch. And, we definitely put guys across this job, man. It's something to see. All ranks.
The one thing I could say about Lincoln Avenue was it was a crazy place to break into, and we cared about the job. And every place I ever worked, guys used to say, "How come you're so calm and nothing bothers you?" And because that term, I was born on Lincoln Avenue. That's where I started, and it was a crazy place. And so the rest of your career, you gravitate to crazy places, right? And that's what I enjoyed. And I think that's the best way to go, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I think we were trained everywhere we went after Lincoln Avenue. We were prepared for. I mean, we were very good. We're very good, happy to go to fires and got along with everybody. It worked out very well. Yeah.
Your company pride definitely shines through.
Yeah.
All it comes right through. Yep.
And I will say this, that was the sharpest I ever was when I worked in that area. Right. I mean, I felt like there was nothing, like you said, there was nothing that you could throw at me that I haven't seen, or even if I never saw it, I'd be able to handle it because, of the time that you put over, right
down to a lady who burns her nipples on a curling iron, right, Roof? You never know what's going to happen.
Right. I wish I would have wrote down some of the stuff, because sometimes it'll pop, a story will pop into my head. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that. I wish I would have just wrote a little dialogue or something, a little log, because it's incredible how many stories. I'm sure. I mean, you guys obviously.
There's a lot of them. A lot of them we didn't even talk about.
Yeah, we got time. We'll do it next time.
Listen, here's another thing. You guys are doing a great service for us retiree guys and the fire service as a whole, because your mantra and your battle cry is, we bring the Firehouse kitchen table to you. You guys are doing exactly that. I've made friends from across the country and across the globe from this podcast. And, you guys, I know you jumped in and you swung the bat and you hit it, man. You guys are doing good, and the show is growing, and you're helping out all us retirees who are trying to relive our glory days through this job. And the other night, Kev, you said something that, where do you find a group of individuals that goes for 10 years somewhere and it's not busy enough? It doesn't. Yeah. It's just our mindset, and it's across the country, because you get the guys in from all over, and everybody's wired the same way. Everybody thinks the same. I want to go to fires. I don't want to retire, and I love this job with all that I am. It's just that.
Well, that's the common theme with all of the guys.
It's crazy.
Everybody, it's either the old guys that miss it, and this is bringing them a little piece of that, right? And then you got the young guys who are listening to you guys, hanging on to every word. Right. Maybe they don't have senior guys, and they want to hear from guys from across the country that are doing it, and so it's like you said, it's a perfect little storm. And, you got a couple of nitwits here that, make it somewhat
me
palatable. Yeah.
Me and Coops are the nitwits, according to Lou.
I'm the head nitwit. I'll be the head nitwit.
There is no doubt about that.
I'm in charge.
All of us wish we were still working. Right, Ronnie?
Oh, God.
We loved it.
I cried the day I retired.
I did too. I did 37 years, and I keep on telling
Wow.
Right? Yeah, you get a guy that does 40 years and he doesn't want to leave. It's like, are you kidding me, bro?
Or I should have kept going,
Yeah.
But
Hey,
what are you gonna
Chief Banbury.
Now you're in Maine.
Four-
Now you live in Lodge.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
not. Yeah, I only come here to
Definitely not.
Chasing your wife around the woods.
Yeah. It's not.
He's a marathon runner. He can't
Oh.
catch
Oh, shit,
I
that's
like
great.
it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
All right,
funny.
fellas. So you know what? Ronzoni comes out to the Nassau show, right? So you want to see Ronzoni in person? Come on out. We'll put that up there, and you come meet
it. When is
Ronzoni.
it? You got a date?
Actually, they don't have a date yet. I keep asking my wife. They haven't come out with a date yet. So
I'll come with Ray and Joe Vig, man. We'll show up there.
You guys, come to Florida. Come to the March Parade. We'll throw that out there.
I'll
so
be there
you
this
guys-
year.
All right, there you go. We'll be down
I'll
there.
be with Ray.
We got a lot of stuff coming up, so keep
Okay.
tuned in. And Monday night, Roofy will be on assignment. We'll have Fat Daddy Ray sitting in his chair again. And we have Paul, what's his last name? LaRochelle. I fucked it up. From Worcester. He was a Worcester. You can't say Worcester. We have him on Monday night. Fat Daddy Ray will be sitting in for the Roofopotamus.
My anniversary, 24 years.
Yeah.
Oh, with the same woman?
God
Good
bless
for
her.
you,
Yeah.
bro. Because I got about that with 3 different ones, but
Oh, I'm on number 2, but that's where I'm staying.
you are.
That's
I'm
it.
on number
Yes,
3. I ain't
sir.
going 13 years with this one. I'm happy as a clam. All right, Petey, do your thing, brother.
Hey, man.
Okay, everybody, you know the deal. Find us on all the audio players if you want to listen to the show. That's iTunes, podcasts, Spotify, wherever. However, you'll find us everywhere. And if you're here finding us on youtube.com/Gettin Salty Experience, like, subscribe, and share. Guys, please help me, help you, help me, help you, help me. Just
Help you.
hit that button. It's free.
It's
It hurts
easy. It's
nothing.
free, bro. We used
Yep.
to do this, right? Do it.
Do
Do it. Come
Do
on.
it.
Hit the
Do
button.
it. Open
All
it up.
right,
Do
all
it.
right. Also, guys, if you're on Instagram and you like to scroll until your eyes bleed, hit us up at Salty Dog Inc., where you will find the saltiest fire photos in the game, that I guarantee. GettinSaltyApparel.com, where you will find hats, T-shirts, hoodies, all the firefighter apparel accessories in the game. Thank you to everyone in the super chat, and special thanks to Dad Mac in the chat, who isn't even on the job, wasn't ever on the job, but this dude, he comes through shit hot with like it's almost too much. So thank you very much for the donation. We appreciate that. Thanks to everyone in the super thanks. Facebook guys, Getting Salty fans pages, like something like 47,000 plus, for crying out loud. Please check us out there. Lots of good stuff there, and all the last minute info for the show. If we have a last minute cancellation, if we're posting info about tonight's show, whatever questions, go to Facebook, Getting Salty fans, and then of course, guys, Getting Salty ads. If you want to advertise with the show, I'll send you my spiel. Getting Salty Experience at gmail.com for questions for the show. And last but not least, Coobs Podcast at gmail.com for all of the Cocklofts and Cocktails, our news shows. That's helmet cam footage, fire photos, rig photos, table
Hot
photos,
old lady
contest photos, all that good stuff. So hit us up at Coobs Podcast.
They are coming in like crazy. Yes. I'll remind you, too, Petey and I will be down in Wildwood. What is it, September 17th?
15, 16, 17, 18.
Something like that. We'll be
Something
down
like
there
that.
doing it. We'll be down seeing Frankie
Yeah.
something. And then the 27th, Ruffy and I will be out in Ohio to the Firehouse Expo doing it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I love
Fun
doing
stuff.
that show. Mainly also because our families come with us and they have such a blast of kids. But
They
the
do.
Wildwood show is a good show, man. Good people, man. Like working that one.
Yes. Guys, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
You know,
great.
I kind of like these Lincoln guys now. I wasn't really too
Now you
off
do,
on them,
right?
you know,
Ruffy
now I
wasn't
like
big
that.
on the Lincoln. Now he's got appreciation. He's got appreciation for the Lincoln.
Even
Linden
if they're
boys.
second due.
Oh, I'm out. I drank all my shit. I'm done.
Oh my god.
Thank you, guys. It was a
All right, guys.
pleasure.
Thanks
It
for
really
coming
was
on.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll
Appreciate
see you in the back
Thanks a lot,
show
guys.
there. All right, guys. PD and I will see you on Monday. All right, we'll stay low and go.
All right, everybody. We'll see you at the big one. Have a good night.
Cheers, everybody.